Clouds, humid, some showers and heavier thunderstorms around in the afternoon, the high 83. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is 69 degrees with sunshine in downtown St. Louis. The weather sponsored by Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. We're partners committed to you, your business, and your community. From family law to litigation, we're ready to serve. Visit SandbergPhoenix.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
Chris Ronchi, Amy Mark Scores, The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Good morning, people. Hope you're doing great. With you until 12 o'clock today, it is the Chris and Amy Show. Welcome in, 314-436-7900 to visit with us by calling and texting. Voice messages, you can leave those on the Odyssey app. You can listen to the show on the Odyssey app. You can listen to the podcast there. You can listen to Cardinals baseball. And there is a game tonight. And if you have it on your phone, well, by all means, listen to it that way.
And don't forget, on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, not iTunes, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts, you can download our show.
Yeah, the show later. So, if you missed it, or if you heard something, want to go back and listen to it again, you could totally do that. Super cool. Also, you can watch us. Did you know that? You can see us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. We are on Twitter at ChrisAmyKMOX. Yes.
And Ronj, don't you think that sometimes there is a great benefit to watching us? For instance, when Millie, the Millennium Hotel Weed, showed up, she had her own camera.
She did have her own camera.
Yeah.
You know what? Is she still in the office?
Yes, you're taking care of her. You're supposed to plant her in the ground.
For some reason, I came in today. I didn't notice her there.
She was there. Like who put the finger up where it says, let's go?
I don't know who did that, but we are not. Millie is not open for decorating.
No.
None of that stuff.
Apparently, that was Michelle who planted that in the plant.
This is unbelievable.
She did?
That's what producer James O'Sullivan said.
So Michelle Reeser West of the Garden Hotline, with whom we are at war.
Yes.
She called us weird, and she put a sign in our plant.
Yeah. And then she stole some of the sticks.
She did take the sticks.
Time now for the top of the order. The top 3 stories everyone will be talking about.
I feel like people in the room are very confused by what's happening right now. Well, it's Amazon Prime Day starting today anyway, and it is predicted to generate over $26 billion in U.S. spending. We'll talk to Mike Dubusky, tech reporter for ABC News, about Prime Day and what to expect.
And our number 2 story, a St. Louis firefighter is accused of going poo-poo in a box at the airport.
Number 2 story, huh? Cardinals beat the Diamondbacks last night, and they play again tonight. The continuation of the series at Busch Stadium, 6:45, first pitch, and a 5:50 pregame show.
Number 28, third baseman, Nolan Arenado.
Yep, so the former perennial all-star Nolan Arenado back last night, and he got a warm welcome from the Busch Stadium crowd. Of course, that was going to happen. I think we all expected it, right?
Yes, but can I ask you, since you're the real spoil sport when it comes to fans and what they are and are not allowed to cheer.
What?
Do you hate that? Do you hate
what?
that the St. Louis fans do that for returning players?
No, that's a common practice everywhere.
I know, but I could see you going, get over it.
What? No, you should. No. What are you talking about?
Do they, in your mind, does a player have to either be at a certain level or play so many years before they deserve a round of applause?
No, I mean, you can cheer for whoever you want to. If there was a player who was here for a year and did something cool and you just want to acknowledge like, hey, we remember you. That's cool. I think what you're talking about, I think when we're you know how teams will pre-produce a video, like some sort of tribute video?
They do it in hockey a lot, but only if it's a pretty
too.
Significant. Like, they don't do it for everybody.
Right. So if it was like a, part-time guy who comes back and you make a tribute video, like, okay, calm down here. I don't think we need to tribute video this guy. But giving an ovation to a former player, absolutely.
Do you know what? I don't think I've ever been in Busch Stadium for a tribute video. I mean, other than like Pujols and Wainwright like when Wainwright retired and I don't know, something else with Pujols. But I feel like, and granted, I've gone to a lot more hockey games. There are a lot of tribute videos for hockey players. Do they not do it very often? They didn't do it with Arenado, did they?
You know what? I don't know if they did. I didn't see it. I didn't notice it. And maybe if it was between innings, it's possible. I don't know. But if you were at the stadium last night and saw it, let us know.
Yeah, let us know.
But no, yeah, of course. Acknowledge whoever you want to, however you want. I would say that when you're talking about tribute videos, let's cool it a little bit. You know what I mean? Like that you're asking somebody who works in the audio visual department to go put together a whole video for a player who didn't do anything
All
here.
All I know.
But Arenado, I think you can give one to.
When I get fired from KMOX and then a couple of years later, come back I don't know, maybe they have me on as a guest for no reason, I would like tribute audio.
No, just be a lot of yelling.
Yeah.
Probably.
Okay.
More on that later. Anyway, it was cool to have Arenado back, and it was the right thing for the Cardinals to do to move on. It is unfortunate that the whole thing didn't work out better because the Cardinals did, for a time period, have two of the best players in the National League, MVP caliber players. And, you kind of hope that when that happens, when you've got that, you're talking about World Series or at least an appearance or that kind of thing. It didn't really happen. So that part's unfortunate, but Arenado deserves all the ovations that he gets.
Yeah, no, and it was a fun game last night. I don't know if... Do you call what the Cardinals had with the Royals and then kind of stretching back a little bit of a skid? Or maybe it's felt a little herky-jerky the past couple of series. The past few series, to me, have felt herky-jerky, but good to get that win yesterday.
You mean like good series, bad series?
Games.
Kinda?
Yeah, even game to game. It's felt a little herky-jerky. And because for a while, I did feel like I expected the Cardinals to win. Thought, okay, this team's going to figure it out. But then when they start, and maybe it was the bullpen, or pitching or what have you. So when they started giving up, say, 30 runs to the Royals, you start to question things a bit.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have bad series. So now it's just a matter of how often do they do that for the rest of the year. So they go on the 6-game win streak earlier in the month. Then they drop 2 of 3. They win 2 of 3. They drop 2 of 3. So it's just kind of gone back and forth. They started this series with a win. So we'll see if they, win this one or not. Because then that'll be about as 500 as you can get. Win 2 of 3, lose 2 of 3, win 2 of 3, lose 2 of 3. So I don't know. We'll see. But as long as they don't make a habit out of it, then they're okay. But as of right now, they're still in good position. They still have that top wild card spot. We are not halfway through the season yet, so there's still a lot of baseball to go. But I will maintain this. I think that they'll still be in the conversation in mid-September.
Yeah.
As far as playoffs go. I think it may be an outside shot at that point, but I think they will still be part of the playoff conversation when we get to the middle part of September. And it's not because they're great, because they're not great. It's because the rest of the National League is just okay, with the exception of a couple of teams out there.
I will say it was good to see Palante get a win, his 4th straight, and really liked that Riley O'Brien in and out in the 9th inning. Like, I'm a little worried, right? A little worried with the 1-run lead. And I was glad to see him. Glad to see him get a good 9th inning.
Yeah, no, it's good to see him do something clean. I mean, I think he's okay as a closer, and I think for the most part he's been pretty good. It's just a matter of he doesn't have a whole lot of work there, relatively speaking. It's not like he's got a big body of work, but I'm okay with him. And I think that he would be for some other team, and this may be the tell, how attractive would he be to another team who's looking for a reliever at the deadline, right? And I'm not saying they're going to trade him. I'm just saying that there would be teams who would want him.
Yeah. Okay. I will say this. Yesterday, I was in a meeting with our boss, Steve. Maybe you've heard of him. Maybe our listeners have heard
too much
of our boss, Steve. Yeah, he's got a boat.
I've had a lot of Steve in my life lately.
Anyway, I was in a meeting with Steve, but huge soccer fan, our boss,
Big
Steve.
soccer guy.
So he had the Argentina game on during our meeting. And while we were meeting, Messi had a penalty kick, and Steve goes, I hope he misses it. It will be a better story. And I thought, well, he's just being a curmudgeon. Like, come on. No, I hope he makes it. And he goes, trust me, if he misses it, he's going to come back with a vengeance. And anyway, he missed the goal kick, or he missed the penalty kick, and then this happened.
Now Medina, pulled back here, lets it run. Messi! History in Dallas! 40 years to the day since Diego Maradona scored the hand of God. Lionel Messi scores the goal to make him the World Cup's all-time leading scorer.
So he got 2 goals in that game.
So that was the first one. He got a second one later.
Yep, and he got 2 goals in that game after missing the penalty kick, and Steve texted me, I told you.
So he's right. He was right.
He nailed it.
There's something
before the penalty kick.
Yeah, there's something really kind of anticlimactic about breaking a record on a PK, I think. You know, yeah, you got the goal, but it was there for you, served up. Amazingly, he missed it, but he has missed a lot of, I think he's missed the most penalty kicks in World Cup history.
Do you think it's because, well, one, whenever there's a penalty kick, he's always the one to take it. So there's that aspect. He's probably had more opportunity, and he's played in so many World Cups. But also, do you think the greats, I'm completely speculating, is there something to having too much time to think if you're the best player of all time or not really?
I don't know.
Because if
maybe.
you saw the way he took it, he basically stopped right in front of the ball, waiting for the goalie to commit. The goalie didn't commit, and then he kicked it right to the goalie.
I am not a soccer expert by any means, but I do know that little stutter step thing that the penalty takers are doing is infuriating the more defensive-minded people, because they want the goaltender cannot move until the ball's played. He can't move off the line. And so the argument has become, not to get too deep in the weeds here, but if the kicker can do the stutter step thing, then the goaltender should be allowed to move, like toward you, if he wants to. Like it's sort of an unfair advantage. I don't know how you fix it. Anyway, but Messi is so much fun to watch. He's kind of like, I think about him the way I think about Steph Curry, because I love watching Steph Curry play, and he's been injured a lot, and it's coming to an end. I know that whole thing is coming to an end. I know the Messi thing here is going to come to an end relatively soon because he's almost 40, and you can't be at the top of your game.
This will be his last World Cup, presumably.
Yeah, I mean, because 4 years from now, there's just no way he's going to be playing in one. So, I don't know. It's like, take it all in while you can, because that's probably the best player that we've ever seen in our lifetimes. Actually, the sport's ever seen, and he's playing while we are alive.
Forget everything that happened after his career, but I miss the appointment television of Tiger Woods. I loved that. I love that. And I also even missed the appointment television.
He's the only thing that made me like to watch golf at all.
I missed the appointment television, and I was younger too, so it was such a big deal to me, but of Venus and Serena Williams.
Yeah.
I loved. I mean, they were the spotlights. They were the stars, and I just loved watching them play. And and I know like Serena still plays, but as their careers were coming to an end, it wasn't quite. Tennis didn't feel the same without them dominating the sport.
So how Messi played yesterday, and then Mbappe played for France, and Erling Haaland played for Norway. He's the blonde guy with the ponytail, looks really intimidating. They each had 2 goals yesterday, all 3 of them. So the 3 best players who were playing yesterday each had 2 goals. So far, the World Cup has been a whole lot of fun.
So much fun.
Just reading a story earlier about how Kansas City and some of the businesses are not seeing the foot traffic they thought they were going to. And they were told by the city that, hey, you're going to have all kinds of spillover and people are going to be coming here. And it is not happening.
Last thought, England has taken over Boston after the Scots, and they are apparently throwing a lot of shade at the Scots.
Well, I'm sure they are.
Like, go home. They're chanting and singing about how terrible the Scots are and go home.
And the Scots said, well, we're in Miami, so we don't care what you think. That's what they think right now. It's Amy Marks-Kors and Chris Ranji. As I mentioned, we will talk about Amazon Prime Day with ABC Tech reporter Mike Dubusky. He will join us at 9:30. Prime Day starts today. Wow. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
This is Jordan Walker. Celebrate Black Heritage Day, presented by your quality Ford dealers on Sunday, June 28th at Busch Stadium. This special culture and community event honors the impact, history, and legacy of the Black community in baseball and beyond. With a special themed ticket, you'll receive an exclusive Cardinals jersey designed by Corey Rogers. And don't miss a special heritage celebration in Budweiser Terrace before the game. Details and tickets at cardinals.com/theme.
The weekend starts at Busch Stadium. Grab your crew and kick it off at Friday Night Live. Every Friday night home game, Budweiser Terrace turns into the hottest happy hour in the Lou. With $5 beers, $5 hot dogs, $7 margaritas, live music, and more all game long. Meet up with friends, soak in the energy, and keep the night going with baseball under the lights. Good vibes, great deals, your new Friday tradition. Get tickets now at cardinals.com.
The Second World War is the largest event in human history.
A 20-part series with Tom Hanks.
No part of the globe was untouched. No life unchanged.
Experience the ultimate account of World War II.
Every single person had a story. These are the stories that make us who we are.
Listen to World War II with Tom Hanks on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Let me tell you something about insurance. When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's the finish line. Handshake, commission, done. Then you may not hear from them again until it's time for renewal. But your business runs all year, so do the gaps and the risk. So go to Supersure.com. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, CFO, or HR manager, it can be too complex to just go buy a policy online. Supersure is the super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, all with year-round support for you and your team. At Supersure.com, you can access tools like fine print facts. It'll translate your current policy into plain English so you see what's covered and what's not. Plus a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth so you know what actually needs protecting. Go to Supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies in one place. Supersure.com. That's Supersure.com. Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
Staples presents Celebrations Made Easy.
I was throwing a party for the twins and had custom invites and a banner printed at Staples. And that's when I saw Party City is now at Staples.
Party City? No way!
So now Staples has all your printing needs and everything you need for a party.
Everything times 2.
And now at Staples, save 25% on all custom banners.
Party City is now at Staples.
That was easy.
Shop Staples in-store, online, or on the app. Some banners available same day when ordered by 12 p.m. Ins 8-1 exclusions apply.
The wait is over. The new Omaha Steak Store is now open in Baldwin at 15305 Manchester Road in Central Plaza. Shop now for 50% off store-wide and enjoy delicious doorbuster deals starting at just $19.99. For more than 100 years, Omaha Steaks has delivered the world's best steak experience. From extra-aged USDA-certified tender steaks to pure ground burgers, air-chilled chicken, premium pork, and so much more. Every bite is handcrafted by master butchers and backed by their 100% satisfaction guarantee. Stop by the new Omaha Steak Store in Baldwin today to discover the Omaha Steaks difference.
Hey, St. Louis, need to sell your home fast? The Gelman team with eXp Realty can make you an instant cash offer in just 24 hours. No showings, no repairs, no waiting. Visit thegelmanteam.com or give them a call at 314-336-1991.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX, sponsored by Community America Credit Union in Des Peres. Invested in STL. Invested in you. Now open.
A century strong. The voice of St. Louis. KMOX.
Chris and Amy show on KMOX. We'll talk Prime Day with Mike Dubusky from ABC News in just a moment, but Amy is appalled.
Ranch.
Yeah.
I think I've had it with TIAM.
You sick of their stuff?
Listen.
Are you sick of their crap?
Listen. I love Megan Lynch, love Debbie Monterey, Tom Ackerman. You know what? I wake up. Oh, it's a beautiful day. The sun's out, making a cup of coffee. And you remember how TIAM ruined my morning a few weeks ago with their flesh-eating worm story?
Right.
Yeah, the one that's eating the cows. And then there was the hammerhead worm story.
Yeah. So they're grossing you out.
To chop up.
Yeah, they're grossing you out.
Yeah, well, I woke up this morning. Here's what I hear.
A St. Louis City firefighter is on leave after allegedly defecating inside a box at the airport.
Screenshots making rounds on social media purported to show a firefighter defecating inside a box in a food storage area inside Lambert Airport. When asked about the defecation, a spokesperson for Lambert International Airport says, quote, the incident that took place in Terminal 2 on June 10th involving a St. Louis City firefighter is unacceptable for anyone associated with this airport, close quote. The fire department confirmed the firefighter has been removed from his airport duties and is on administrative leave pending an investigation. A source with knowledge of the situation tells KMOX the incident happened inside of HMS Host food storage area inside the airport and that the food all needed to be disposed of after. KMOX has reached out to HMS Host for comment and is awaiting a response. We've also asked county police for any incident reports related to the defecation. Shaw Malone, KMOX News.
Come on. And you know what? There's video and screenshots. He's got khaki shorts on, and you can see him pulling down the khaki shorts and holding a box without a lid and getting ready. You talk about his airport duty. He was getting ready to do his airport duty, I'll tell you that.
It looks like one of those boxes with produce in it.
Yeah, and you know what? And he did it in the food storage area, so you got to throw all that food away.
Unfortunately, it was an Amazon Prime box, so somebody's going to be getting that for Prime Day today.
Well, I don't think so. They probably had to throw it out unless somebody kept it for some reason. I think there's I don't really understand what
upsetting.
Well, I mean, if you really think about it, have you been in a bathroom airport, like an airport bathroom, they're bad? So isn't it just more sanitary to go in a box somewhere, find a nice quiet spot?
Lambert does not have the nicest bathrooms, but they don't have the worst. They really don't. Well, I always go to the bathroom at the airport because you got to go before you get on the plane.
See, now I would tell this guy that if Amy can use an airport bathroom, then he can use an airport bathroom.
Thank you.
I'm not sure what he was doing. Like, what's the rationale? Are you trying to get at somebody? Is this your revenge?
You're not going to wipe.
Because I know this is not how you put out a fire.
It's not.
Because poo-poo is flammable. Well, actually, I think it has to be dry, but it is flammable.
Is it that the front porch joke? Is that they light a bag on fire and then you step on it?
It is. And you step on it so
Maybe he was going to do a joke.
Yeah. I
don't understand, but it's so offensive. Just even this screenshot is really offensive. He's got to have something wrong with him, right? Like something broke. Some wires got crossed in the brain that you're a firefighter working at the airport. You go into the food storage area. You grab an empty box and decide to do that.
Or maybe he was wronged by somebody and wanted to show them who was boss. Have you thought about that, Amy?
Probably not. I haven't thought about that.
Maybe somebody at the HMS, what was it called? HMS Food Service?
But maybe it wasn't at HMS Food. Maybe he just needed a box.
Well, if this grosses you out, I would highly recommend you do not look up a feces sandwich, because that is something that happened in Benavides, Texas, and it was a former San Antonio police officer.
Okay,
who,
did you just know this, or did you look this up?
Well, I've looked it up.
When?
Recently.
Why?
I don't know. Well, I saw the story. I saw there was a thing. And so do not look this up.
We are losing listeners. See, I thought the worst thing that went over the airways yesterday or this week was me singing Wonderwall because I think it's whiny. And I actually regretted that, and I apologize. I do apologize. But now I don't feel so bad. Sean has the audacity to put a story out like this.
Well, it's a story. We can't ignore it. We're a serious news operation.
I asked him where...
Not us, but the newsroom is.
I asked Sean where this story ranks in his list of news stories. Guess what Matt said?
Number 2.
That's right.
It's Chris and Amy on KMOX. Just be thankful that you don't live in some sort of rural area where it's all farming stories. And there's nothing against farming stories. Nothing against the farmers. We love the farmers. They grow our food. But I don't need to hear stories about it. And if you were in, say, Clinton, Illinois, that's all you'd be hearing about. And now you get to hear about poo-poo in a box from a firefighter.
No, come on.
And you get to hear about hammerhead worms. And you get to hear...
The screwworm.
The screwworm. The hammerhead worm. And you get to hear about car fires.
And sinkholes.
And sinkholes. Which is screwing up my traffic to work, by the way. I love our newsroom. I think they're doing a great job.
Great job.
Well, you know, that soccer tournament that we've been talking about, the one that is the biggest sports stage in the world. Yeah, it is ongoing. Huge day yesterday. In fact, we talked about all the stars getting 2 goals apiece. Few braces happening yesterday. Messi and Mbappe and Haaland all scoring a pair each. And on the biggest stage in the world, FanDuel is changing the game because let's say you have bet one of those guys, right? And they normally don't get subbed out, but sometimes they do. And usually your bet goes with them. Well, that's not happening anymore with FanDuel. They have introduced Super Sub, which means if your player is subbed out, your bet stays in. So if they leave the match, your bet goes on with the substitute who comes in for him. So that means you are still in the action all the way through to the final whistle, which is exactly what you want. FanDuel.com/Missouri to take advantage of it. It's FanDuel.com/Missouri. I have been telling you about FanDuel for several months now. It is an easy app to use, great interface, it is secure, and you're going to get paid out instantly if you win. Let there be goals this summer on FanDuel. Must be 21 or over and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Jordan Walker has brought energy.
There's a ball that's lined to right field. Walker comes on, he dives, and he has it.
Excitement.
Pitch is hit into left field, base hit, Jordan Walker.
And big moments.
It's a grand slam for Jordan Walker.
A spot on the All-Star team takes more than talent. It takes your vote. KMOX is calling on fans across Cardinals Nation to get involved. Make your voice count. Go to MLB.com/vote. Select Jordan Walker and cast your ballot today. Vote Jordan Walker for the All-Star Game. Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
73 degrees and gorgeous right now. Full sun as far as I can see. Later on in the afternoon, some clouds might roll in, but partly sunny and pleasant, a high of 83. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 65. Weather sponsored by the U.S. Air Force Band of Mid-America 4th of July Concert Series.
Freedom 250. Join the U.S. Air Force Band of Mid-America July 1st through July 7th across St. Louis as we celebrate America's 250-year legacy with free concerts. No tickets required. Details at afbandtix.org. That's afbandtix.org.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Hi, this is Steve Butts from the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. In 2026, our agency celebrates a momentous occasion as we celebrate 65 years of service to our clients, a tribute to our founder and my dad, Nor Butts. Our staff is ready to assist you with all your insurance needs. So please call me, Steve Butts, at 314-752-2500 or at crawfordbutts.com. For auto, home, and commercial insurance needs, that's crawfordbutts.com.
Mizzou football is almost here. Get ready for the season opening kickoff in Como game on Thursday, September 3rd with 4 tickets for only $80. Be there to see the finished Memorial Stadium Centennial Project, a deal for the entire family to enjoy the home opener. Let's keep the sellout streak alive and bring the energy as we kick off the 100th anniversary of Memorial Stadium. Purchase your 4 tickets for $80 at mutigers.com/kickoff in Como. MIZ.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
A divorce is more than just legal paperwork. It's a life change. The stress, the uncertainty, the tough conversations. Cordell & Cordell understands what it's really like to face the unknown. The law firm of Cordell & Cordell has been representing clients during these transitions for over 35 years, helping you focus on what matters most. If you or someone you know is facing a divorce or family law matter, visit CordellCordell.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis. Joseph Cordell, Principal Partner.
Here's a World Soccer Championship Team Spotlight, brought to you by the first ever Infiniti QX65 and by Lowe's. Give your yard its own moment with the new limited time deals from Lowe's.
The U.S. plays on home soil with a squad full of big stars and a new generation of attacking talent. Their youthful, high-pressing style and a gifted forward who thrives in big moments make them a genuine threat to advance deep.
While the world watches the stars at the FIFA World Cup this summer, Hyundai has its eyes on the next generation of talent. The future stars who are already turning heads at age 14. Because next doesn't wait for an invitation. And neither do we. Hyundai has always moved the future within reach. We did it when we made advanced safety standard on every vehicle and engineered EVs with ultra-fast charging capability. Because the future isn't some far-off concept. It's already here. Next starts now. Hyundai, an official partner of FIFA.
Today, the Cards, the D-backs.
Cameron Total Access 550. First pitch 6:45.
Cardinals Radio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It is the Chris and Amy show on KMOX. Time to go to the Quiver River Electric guest line today. And Amazon Prime Day apparently is happening now. And you can make or get all sorts of deals and whatnot. And Amazon, of course, is trying to get your business to talk about Prime Day and the deals and what it means for Amazon and other retailers. We talked to tech reporter for ABC, Mike Dubusky, who is with us on KMOX. Good morning, Mike. How are you?
Good morning, guys. Yeah, how are you?
We're doing okay. It's Prime Day. It starts today anyway. And I think we're all kind of searching for deals. So what is expected for Prime Day this year when it comes to Amazon?
Yeah, so it's expected to be a record year for Amazon Prime Day. Guys, if we cast our minds back to the mid-2010s when Amazon first started running these Prime Day sales, it was really an attempt for this company to kind of carve out a part of the year that no other online retailer was really running a major sale. Obviously, they do major sales in the sort of fall months in the lead up to the holiday shopping season. A lot of retailers do sales in the springtime as well. But Amazon saw this kind of like middle of the summer period, June, July, as an opportunity to do an online sale to really just kind of distance themselves from everyone else and stand out from the crowd a little bit. And it worked, right? This has been a huge windfall for Amazon in the intervening decade. Plus, we have seen this sale expand from 2 to now 4 days. So it is kind of more appropriate to call it a Prime Week as opposed to a Prime Day. And we have seen kind of the discounts mount. And we've observed some trends in those discounts as well, specifically in the apparel and electronics categories. That's where we often see the steepest discounts. Also sort of just home goods, things like toilet paper, paper towels, also pretty steeply discounted. This is a good time to pick up home essentials, during these sales. That's really where we see Amazon focus a lot of their discounting. And then, of course, no surprise, Amazon's own products as well. Amazon has the Amazon Basics brand, which makes everything from, bed sheets to, home appliances and tech devices. They are steeply discounted this week as well. And another interesting point here, guys, is that Amazon Prime Day has been so successful and has grown to such a degree that we're seeing Best Buy, Walmart, Target, and others launch competing sales during this time of the year as well. So if you're looking to do online shopping, really of any variety, this is a good time to do it, in addition to the holiday shopping season, which is usually when we see steeper discounts among all these retailers. If you're looking to pick up something before then, this is kind of the time to do it.
Any reason why Prime, if I remember, Prime Day was usually in July. Any reason why it's in June this year?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting that they're moving it up the calendar a little bit. It's sort of unclear exactly why, but it might have something to do with wanting to juice the numbers in one quarter as opposed to a different quarter. But, even still, that is kind of the strategy that you can imagine that Amazon is having, to pay a lot of attention to, especially as there is a cash crunch out there, economically. There's a lot of uncertainty in the market right now. Amazon, of course, also deeply invested in very expensive artificial intelligence technology. So they are paying attention to, the specific timing of this sale, in a very intense way. Also notable here, guys, is that when it comes to the steepness of these discounts, how much money off on average we're seeing across product categories, it's not dramatically different from last year. I'll give you one example. In the sporting goods category in 2025, across all goods on Amazon in that category, it was about 11% off during Prime Day. This year, on average, it's about 12% off. So you're going to be saving money, just not dramatically different from last year. And I think that, again, speaks to kind of the economic headwinds that are out there that Amazon is facing.
ABC technology reporter Mike Dubusky is with us on KMOX. I want to ask you about AI in a moment, but while we're talking about Amazon, this is a thing that occurred to me that it was a few years ago, I recall something vaguely about Amazon's overall pick tag. So if you anybody who uses Amazon will sometimes see this little label. It's black with white lettering, and it says overall pick, sort of to drive people to that pick. And there was some sort of controversy with that. Do you recall what that was? That maybe Amazon was not being entirely truthful with those tags?
With regards to that specific instance, I'm not sure. However, how Amazon prioritizes or highlights certain items on their platform, specifically during Prime Day, has been an object of controversy. For example, we talked about how Amazon makes its own devices. Everything from tech devices to home goods devices. Those are often seeing the steepest discounts. They're also prioritized in search results. So when you go to search for something on Amazon, for example, lamps or something like that, generally speaking, you're going to see Amazon's version of the lamp pretty highly ranked in search results. And what we've seen from statistics the world over is that people don't really scroll that far down the page when they're looking for an item that is kind of generic like that. So Amazon really benefits from prioritizing its own devices higher up in search results, which of course it can do because it owns the platform and it also sells the goods. So that's something to consider as well. Amazon, your mileage will vary with the quality of those products. They are kind of built to a price, but that is also something that is pretty good, right? Like people want to save money around this time of year. So that is, it's just something to keep in the back of your mind as you're doing your Amazon Prime Day shopping.
All right, Mike, I got to ask you about something that I kind of recoiled from the headline because it felt dystopian. But there is an AI-only social network like Facebook or Twitter that now has more than 1.6 million users. But they're AI programs, and it's the AI programs socializing with one another, and like real people aren't allowed on it. What is this Moltbook?
Right. So Moltbook is something that garnered popularity earlier this year, and it is a social network that purports to be made up of only AI programs. Specifically, we're talking about a type of AI known as an AI agent, which is like a little AI program that has agency, right? It can go out and do things, click around websites, order things online, book plane tickets, that type of thing. People often use them as like digital assistants. They're kind of in their nascent stage right now. But if you listen to experts in the AI field, they're kind of looked at as the next generation of where AI technology is going to go. Moltbook was created as this showcase of what this AI technology can do. But guys, it's also important to note, in the months since this Moltbook has kind of been germinating out there, a lot of the activity there, the sort of socializing that these bots have done on that platform, has largely been revealed to be fake, right? It's either people instructing their bots to behave in certain ways, or the bots kind of, behaving in unusual ways that kind of belies, strains credibility to a certain degree. It's not to say that those bots are not, clicking around the websites themselves, but agentic technology is not really at the level where, these things are writing novels about how they're going to take over humanity, as has been indicated on these platforms before, or starting religions, as has been popular on Moltbook. That I think we should treat with a certain air of skepticism, especially given how easy it is for these things to be manipulated and how much of an interest a lot of AI advocates have in demonstrating capabilities that these technologies have, which, might not be totally ready for prime time.
Certainly this might be a longer conversation, but we've heard stories about maybe questionable OpenAI finances or some companies losing money on their AI investments already. How widespread is that problem where companies are putting too much into it, not getting anything back?
Yeah, we're starting to see that in a pretty intense way, guys. Most recently, we saw one of the chief executives at Uber say that given recent pricing changes at AI companies like Anthropic and OpenAI and others, they're really starting to feel the pinch when it comes to investing in this AI technology and integrating it into their business. Specifically, the Uber executive said that, we're not seeing a return, right? We're putting a lot of money into subscribing to these platforms and, asking our employees to use them, but we're just not really seeing a ton of cost savings. In fact, last year, MIT did a study that found that 95% of the AI pilot programs that were out there, meaning, companies that were trying to integrate AI into their business in some way, shape, or form, failed to save any money or increase profits in any way, right? The technology was just not sophisticated enough. And I think that's an important thing to keep in the back of our minds. There's a lot of hype out there in the AI space right now about how transformative this technology is going to be and how potentially disruptive this technology is going to be to certain industries. But if you look at what the technology can do right now, right, like what it is capable of, it's still pretty flawed, right? It regularly hallucinates. Even the most advanced models from OpenAI and Google and Anthropic and others, they are unreliable to the degree where they're not really trustworthy in most applications. And that has held this technology back in a pretty significant way. Couple that with the fact that none of these companies are turning a profit on this. In fact, OpenAI recently said that they are going to need to invest hundreds upon hundreds of billions of dollars before 2030 in order to build this technology, not just program it, but to build the data centers and buy the computer chips that are needed to run it. So the fact that none of these companies are turning a profit yet, I think should raise some eyebrows. It hasn't quite yet reached Wall Street, but certainly we are seeing from a lot of the business class some increasing skepticism that this technology is really going to be as transformative as has been sold. And I think that's going to be something to track, especially given how much investment there has been so far.
Oh, good. So maybe we're not going to lose our jobs yet. We were worried about that. All right. Mike Dobuski, we appreciate it. Thank you for talking with us today.
Of course. Take care.
Mike is the technology reporter for ABC, giving us some time today on the Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Working as a dedicated Fidelity advisor, I always ask, what's important to you? I'll look at those priorities and goals alongside your full financial picture to build a comprehensive plan designed to help grow and protect your wealth. With proactive portfolio insights and an eye on taxes, I'm here to help you make the most of your money. I'm Laura Maxwell, and I'm a dedicated Fidelity advisor. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
The soundtrack of classic rock is coming to Hollywood Casino Amphitheater August 6th. Leonard Skinner and Foreigner joining Join forces for one epic night of legendary hits and unforgettable memories. It's the Double Trouble Double Vision Tour. From Sweet Home Alabama to Cold as Ice. Don't miss your chance to experience these two Rock and Roll Hall of Fame acts in one incredible show. Tickets available at Ticketmaster.com. For more info, KMOX.com/events.
After a disaster, emotional recovery takes time. Show Me Hope Missouri offers free, confidential support wherever you are. Call or text 1-800-985-5990 and connect with a local crisis counselor today. From Missouri Department of Mental Health.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2026 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Amendment 4 on the August ballot hides some ugly facts. It would create a new minority veto power, but only for ballot issues that are citizen-led.
I just say no to that.
Amendment 4 permanently ends majority rule for citizen-led ballot issues.
I'm a no on 4.
Politicians put Amendment 4 on the ballot to severely limit citizens' constitutional power.
I say no on 4.
4 is a power grab by politicians. It lets one congressional district veto reforms backed by the majority of voters statewide, giving as few as 5% of voters control over the rest of us.
That's why I say no to 4.
4 would make it nearly impossible to rein in out-of-control politicians.
I say heck no.
4 takes away our constitutional power we've used for over 100 years to pass reforms that politicians wouldn't. Keep majority rule and your power. Just say no to Amendment 4. It's an ugly politician power grab. Paid for by Missourians for Fair Governance.
With summer here and the kids home full time, your garage door will see a lot more use. Do it a favor with annual maintenance from Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. The 26-point tune-up is one price for up to 3 garage doors and openers. Get them all done. Trusted in St. Louis for 100 years. Always look for the genuine, the original red ribbon of Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Since 1926, they're never going to steer you wrong. Schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM KMOX. Chris and Amy now. The Dave Glover Show at 1 on the voice of St. Louis, KMOX. Now, did you see this? With Chris and Amy.
All right, this is awful, and I don't know how it's allowed. But as one report notes, if you can't trust influencers and a prediction market platform that's banned in the US, who can you trust? So here's the thing. The Wall Street Journal found that Polymarket is using fake wagers, a dummy website, and online creators to make false claims about winnings and have predatory ads targeting Americans. For instance, the Wall Street Journal found claims of $900,000 in winnings, but they were all fake bets. And if those bets would have been placed, people would have lost $166,000. If you're wondering, okay, wait, what does this mean? Here's an example. So George Makihara makes videos that looks like he has a pretty lucrative side hustle making bets on Polymarket. He's a college student. He posted a video back in January that showed him winning a $100,000 on a wager that President Trump would publicly say the word McDonald's in that month, in the month of January. The bet was one of 145 that Makihara appeared to place on Polymarket's website between January and mid-May, based on his videos, adding up to almost $410,000. But the Wall Street Journal says none of those bets were real. And in fact, it's a fake website where they changed the lowercase I to an uppercase I or whatever. And so it's a fake website that Polymarket set up. So you watch these online influencers look like they're making real bets on the Polymarket website, but they're not. It's all fake. How is that legal?
Because it is not regulated the way it should be?
It's unbelievable. that
it's
a
Polymarket is
complete predatory advertising. And the thing is, there is a law. It is illegal. Federal laws require truthful advertising. I mean, we go through the laws, right? When we advertise things, you got to use the product. It's got to be real. And so the CFTC did not comment on any potential investigations, but the Wall Street Journal found out that literally you're watching these creators place bets, $100,000 bets, and it looks like they're on the website, but it's a fake website that Polymarket set up to look like their own.
It's not great.
That's terrible.
Did you see the story last week about bingo making a comeback and younger people are playing it in bars? I know this story is not going to sit well with Matt Podjeski, who hates games and bars as I do as well. But the story from STL Today, this just happened recently, that there are a number of bars around the city, like Tim's Chrome Bar, for example, that are holding bingo nights.
I know that old people activities are really in because like knitting, crocheting, mahjong is really popular. You have 22-year-olds.
Yep.
All the ladies gathering for mahjong night.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like bridge. Canasta.
Everything is cyclical, isn't it? And also, there's a story from Variety that came out yesterday about how younger people are starting to go to art house theaters. So, like that people are now becoming more interested in the independent theater, kind of like High Point Theater, for example. That they are now seeing a boom with younger audiences. There's a 9% increase, or there was a 9% increase in theaters like this in 2025, and that seems to be on the rise.
Hey, real quick, last night I was at the bar with my friends. We're at Stella Blues on Morgan Ford, and I saw a couple that looked like my age. They were playing Yahtzee at the table.
Yes.
No.
Love Yahtzee.
No.
Shaking a cup full of dice, throwing it like, I just don't get it.
Nah.
Like, you're there to talk and hang out. I mean, that is hanging out to them, and it's fun to them, but I don't get it. I don't like it.
Okay,
I don't either. Sorry.
I do think this should be our question of the week. Are you a game person or not? Because I have loved ones and friends in both sides of this very divisive issue. And some will bring Yahtzee. Have you ever played Monopoly Deal? It's like Monopoly, but with cards. No. It's a great game. They'll bring that to restaurants. Have you ever played?
They bring it to restaurants? No.
Yeah.
You're there to eat.
Yeah.
No.
Have you ever played Racco?
No.
That's an old game. You have to buy it from an old person's garage sale. I think that's the only place to get it.
Not going to.
But but Matt, Matt and Ron, I actually really get it. When you are getting together with friends, there is nothing better than sitting on the deck, hanging out, having a drink, listening to music, and talking. Yeah. But then someone brings out a card game, and the next hour is like directions on how to play.
I don't. Come on, man. I can't do it.
Oh my gosh!
It's like it's such a momentum killer.
Yes, it is.
It really is.
I agree.
Just we're all having a good time. We're joking. We're having fun with each other. You know, like, and then somebody's like, "Let's play this game." Like, no, let's not.
I think the only way it works is if it's officially a game night.
Yeah.
Like we have some friends from Puerto Rico, and Domino's is huge there, and they have a Domino's table. They'll bring it out at but they're late night. They'll start at 11 p.m. Like after the party, they're like, all right, time to play Domino's at 11 midnight.
It is akin to somebody at the party breaking out a guitar. Like, let me play this for you.
And you know what song Guitar Guy always sings?
It's not Wonderwall,
but I know this. Wonderwall. Oh,
I know this.
My gosh!
I had a friend who got out his guitar.
Did you leave immediately?
I didn't say anything. I just stood up and left.
I love it.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm not doing all this.
Guitar Guy screams for attention.
Yeah, but come on, man. No more guitars at parties. One of our favorite segments of the week is Dave Simons, partner and managing director of One Private Wealth. We talk about the economy, and there is plenty to get into with him, including the World Cup's impact on the United States. We will talk to Dave. In fact, we got a couple of segments with Dave coming up next on KMOX.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-720-8444. 314-720-8444. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-720-8444.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at Amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WEB-NOW1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
For decades, Morgan & Morgan has represented hundreds of thousands of people at their hour of need. Injuries on the job, car crashes, medical malpractice, and nursing home abuse, Social Security claims, dangerous drugs, and dangerous products. We became America's largest injury firm for a reason, and no firm is even close. Then we got to thinking, what if we could prevent these terrible events before they occurred? So we built the AI-powered People Protector. Simply visit peopleprotector.com and type in the product you have questions about before you buy it. Children's toys and accessories, cars, drugs, products, you name it, we got it. With our success, we decided to pay it forward for all of America. Our way of saying thank you for your trust all these years. Morgan & Morgan, protecting America. And if you've already been injured, just visit us at forthepeople.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
Celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. The voice of St. Louis.
It is 10 o'clock, and right now we've got sunshine and 72 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey. Iran's president is in Islamabad, Pakistan today to discuss the memorandum of understanding with the U.S. Meanwhile, another round of talks between Israel and Lebanon about the conflict with Hezbollah. We get more from ABC's Britt Clennett.
One sticking point is Israel's presence in southern Lebanon. And from that Netanyahu advisor, he told me we're staying in the security zone. But every time that Hezbollah reaches it, he says, we respond, and we will respond very forcibly. He reiterated we're not withdrawing or taking out troops. He said we're deploying to the best positions we can be at where those troops are secure.
Iran did get some things up front. They get to sell their oil on the global market right away. That is a big deal. And then it said the U.S. would help set up a fund with Gulf nations to rebuild Iran's infrastructure from the damage done during the war. And that fund will be $300 billion. Missouri now has 2 men accused of being part of an alleged plot to attack a White House event.
The U.S. Justice Department says 28-year-old Jordan Rinker of Northwest Missouri's St. Joseph is accused of planning to target government leaders and other high-profile people at an ultimate fighting event. 32-year-old Daniel Eskridge of nearby Kidder was arrested earlier this month in connection with the group planning to use explosive drones and other weapons in the June 14th attack. Rinker and Eskridge are 2 of 7 men who have been charged in the alleged plan. Elisa Nelson, Missouri Net.
There's a Plan STL neighborhood meeting this afternoon to talk about one of the largest redevelopment sites in this city, the Mark Twain I-70 industrial area. Jonathan Roper is city planning executive for the Planning and Urban Design Agency. He says the planning process also looks at improvements to Goodfellow and Natural Bridge.
Also, I will note that Goodfellow is it's wider than Highway 70, so we're thinking about how to make Goodfellow a little bit more of a engaging for the neighborhood as well versus something that you could basically land a plane on. So
at one time, the Mark Twain I-70 industrial neighborhood employed thousands. The meeting is this afternoon from 4 to 6 at the Omega Center on Goodfellow. The weather is sponsored by Chesterfield Fence and Deck.
Sunny to partly cloudy and pleasant this afternoon, high 82. Partly cloudy early tonight, a little cloudier late tonight, though 68. For tomorrow, intervals of clouds and sun and more humid. There can be a stray afternoon thunderstorm, high 83. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Currently 71 degrees with sunshine. Chesterfield Fence and Deck, your premier provider of fences, decks, patios, sunrooms, and more. Call for a free estimate, now offering 20% off your next outdoor project. Chesterfield Fence and Deck, chesterfieldfence.com. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
100 years of service and still at your service. KMOX.
Every Tuesday, we talk to our guy, Dave Simons, on the Quiver River Electric guest line. Dave is the partner and managing director of One Private Wealth, and he is with us today again on 104.1 FM KMOX. Good morning, Dave.
Good morning, Chris. Hello, Amy.
Hello, Dave. We've got 1,000 topics to talk to you about.
Yeah, so we're going to keep you for a minute.
Yeah, we should let our listeners know, because they love you, that we are keeping you, holding you hostage until 10:30.
At no extra cost to us.
And knowing that, and Amy, you can appreciate this, last night I did a little extra carbo loading just for this segment. So
Excellent.
I'm ready to go.
Excellent.
So right now, the World Cup is ongoing, has been for a couple of weeks, and we've read a lot. There was a story in STL today about how Kansas City businesses are not doing as well as they thought they were going to do during this time, and what they were promised by the city as far as foot traffic and, just visitors coming through. But what they are finding is that visitors are like coming in for games and then leaving. So there's not much of an economic impact. On the flip side, we've seen Boston be overrun with Scots and now the English, and now they're going down to Miami and doing the same. So what has the economic impact really been as far as we can tell so far in the U.S.?
Well, it's been pretty good, and it's slightly below estimates, but estimates were pretty high to begin with. I mean, it's around $9 billion or so. Maybe it'll come in at about $8 billion, which is still a pretty high number. And I know we ended last week's segment saying, well, it's no Taylor Swift Eras tour, and I did a little checking on that. That generated. Just in the U.S., not globally, but in the U.S., it generated $5 billion in supposed economic impact. So at least the World Cup is supposed to do a little bit better for the Eras Tour in economic impact until you start to dig a little deeper and look at the numbers. Because a lot of these cities, to win these bids to host some of these games, had to build out a ton of extra infrastructure. They had to redo stadiums. They had to build extra parking lots. And guess who pays for that? Taxpayers. And so when you consider net benefit, then that number shrinks. Eras Tour, you didn't really have to do that. You just, we've got this stadium. Come on, Taylor, come on in. And of course, hotels and all that were the beneficiaries of that. So yeah, it overall, it's pretty good, but it's not going to rise, I don't think, to the level that a lot of the folks at FIFA believe. Now, we do know FIFA's getting rich, right? Yeah. I mean, they $3.9 billion in broadcasting rights. And then their sponsors, the big ones, I think, if you look at it, I think it's Adidas, Coke, and Visa. I think those are the three big ones. That's close to $2 billion just in sponsors up and above the broadcasting rights. So that organization will do well no matter what.
Do you think we'll get clear numbers from the individual cities and the nation as a whole as to how much money can actually be considered? Okay, they brought this money in, and FIFA took so much and so forth. So we know exactly how it is distributed.
Yeah, Amy, you're never going to get an exact number. I've always been a little dubious of these economic impact studies that are done to say, oh, we had we hosted the Super Bowl here, and that brings in 1.6 billion. And then you look at how they do it, and it's this multiplication factor. And then you start to talk to the mom and pop stores on the ground, and they say, well, yeah, we had some extra business, but it's not like now we can expand or anything like that. It's a one-time shop. A lot of them are actually money losers. I'm not saying that this World Cup is going to cause cities or hotels or restaurants to actually lose money. There's no evidence of that. But some events like the Olympics, can make your city almost go bankrupt. So that's looking forward to LA in 2028 and all the expense that they're having to go through. So each event is a little bit different, but overall it is a net positive. And I don't mean to downplay this at all, but I don't think it's going to rise to the level of all the hype going into this.
And just not to put too fine a point on it, but is it fair to say it's an economic Pyrrhic victory in the sense that taxpayers are losing money, like the city itself will lose money, but maybe some individual businesses will make a bit more?
I think that's a good way to put it, Amy. Yeah, I think that's what you're going to see. And it's a one-time thing. Unfortunately, another reason to be somewhat dubious on economic impact is because it's a one-time event. It's not going to cause some restaurant now to hire 12 full-time new employees. They might need to bring in some part-time folks just to cover a few nights while the World Cup is in town. But it's here. We make a little money. We put it in our pockets. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.
Well, let's talk about economic impact. And I'm not sure how much you know about this, and so you can tell us what you do know. But today, as we speak, there is an opening ceremony for Highmark Stadium, which is where the Buffalo Bills are going to play. It's their new stadium. They had an old one. It was falling apart. Now they got this brand new, beautiful one, which is being, the ribbon cutting is today. And it's something like $850 million in public money went to that stadium. Ownership kicked in like $500 million. So it's mostly publicly funded. Do stadiums like that, or an NFL team, for example, being in a market like when the Rams were here in St. Louis, how much positive economic impact is there really when you consider how much a stadium requires public financing most of the time?
Well, I am a big supporter of any major sports franchise in cities. I was one of the folks out there almost crying when the Big Red left back in the 80s because I grew up watching them, and celebrated when the Rams came in, and then, of course, was very distraught when they left recently. I remember having some really good discussions about this with Bernie Miklasz, and Bernie was always a big supporter of, hey, if you have to use taxpayer money, you do it because of the economic impact and also just the image of your city, which is hard to quantify and does bring people in. And I happen to agree with Bernie on this. I don't know that you can actually put pen to paper and say, okay, if we spend as taxpayers $100 billion on this new stadium and bring in a team and all the costs, we will see $500 billion coming back to us in 10 years. That I don't know that you ever come up with that number. I just believe it's positive. Every study that I've ever seen and everyone that you ever talk to and the imagery, which again is more what we call goodwill. It's hard to put necessarily a price on it, but just having an NFL franchise, especially today when it is the sport right now with all the broadcasting rights and how the hotel, you go and talk to any downtown business and you'd ask them what having the Rams or back in the day, the Cardinals meant to them. And they'll tell you it meant everything. And now a lot of businesses have dried up. And even the area, or the old, I think this is, by the way, going back to soccer, because I lament the fact that, hey, Kansas City got to host. Why didn't we? We're St. Louis. You know, we're such a soccer hotbed because it's all about the venue. we didn't have a venue for it. They're not going to do it in the open air Busch Stadium. It wouldn't be configured properly for it. I mean, they could. We've had friendlies there, but the World Cup wouldn't buy into that. And the Dome Stadium, but that's an old, dilapidated place, let's be honest. And I don't know if it would support the infrastructural needs behind it, and taxpayers wouldn't agree to it. That's why it went to Kansas City. So just these areas that once had thriving businesses in and around the football stadium, many of them are gone. So I think that's a long-winded answer to your question, Chris, but I am a full supporter in using a combination of public money and private ownership money with perhaps some other big investors coming in. Great partnership between your community and the owners. And I believe it's very positive for the community.
You know, Dave, I couldn't agree with you more in that sense. And I know, like you said, sometimes it's hard to quantify. And I know the butterfly effect is limited when people use that as an analogy. However, what the NFL brings to your city is immediate relevancy. You are relevant as a city in the United States, and it's like marketing. There's a reason why Coca-Cola still spends billions on advertising, even though everybody knows about it. But the NFL gets your name out there, and it's generally a positive thing. And I think there are little decisions made every day, whether people decide, hey, you know what? Let's go on a weekend trip to the game, or, you know what, I'm going to open a restaurant, and I could open it in Kirkwood, or I could open it, what if we, made it downtown where the Rams are, where your business is? I think there's all of these subconscious decisions that happen, and having an NFL team is a little bit of a tipping point. May not be the only reason, but it could be a tipping point, so you can't quantify it, but it's there.
Yeah, Amy, I'm such a sports nut and an NFL fan. I have driven in recent years to Chicago, Kansas City, Indianapolis, and Nashville. Those are your 4 closest NFL cities. I go there and I'm just like, oh man, I wish my city had this. And talk about economic impact and everybody. And then I even went to the NFL draft when Nashville had it. I think it was the year before last, something like that. You talk about a vibrant weekend. Holy cow, that was terrific. And then I was in Pittsburgh recently, and they just had the NFL draft, and people were still talking about it afterwards. When I was talking to some of the restaurant owners, you couldn't find a seat anywhere in places like that. So, yeah, I think we're in agreement there. It just brings so much to the city.
And I'm a sports guy, too. I love the NFL, and I wish we had a team here, but also I understand the reality of it. And isn't it pretty much largely agreed upon by economists that these stadiums, if they are publicly funded, that cities don't get that money back, or that states don't really get that money back? I thought there were a number of studies that said that, and that's what economists say.
Yeah, I have seen those. You're exactly right. And but I think those studies are limited to just the revenue produced, I think, within the stadium, or some pullback in tax revenue. I think that's what those are relegated to, Chris. I think they fail to look at the entire economic impact on the area. So it's more of a net benefit when you've got all the taxpayer costs going into it, and then look at all of the gross revenue that you get, your entire community gets. That turns out to be a net benefit. But you're right. If you're just boring into just the benefit from the tax side of things, you can make the case that it's very, very difficult to make money back just on that alone, yes.
And right now I'm thinking about Soldier Field where the Bears play, and apparently they are still paying off the renovations that happened 20-plus years ago. That they're still paying for it, and now they're looking for a new stadium.
Yeah.
So,
And you know, a lot of these politicians, speaking of Chicago, and we just saw what happened with the Chiefs as they're going across the state line into Kansas. If it was such a money loser, I don't know that you'd have a lot of these folks standing in line to build stadiums, because they know what these things bring to their community. It'd be something, wouldn't it, for the Chicago Bears to actually play in Indiana? But that's a possibility.
It is, but technically it's closer to the current stadium than the other spot in Arlington Heights.
Yeah,
so it's really not far at all. And also, I'm not sure Indiana taxpayers know what they're in for. Like, it sounds good, but I'm not sure that they know. Dave Simons, we've got more to talk about with you, plenty more, and we will do that when we come back. Dave Simons is the partner and managing director of One Private Wealth, with us here on KMOX.
When you retire, the paycheck from your job will likely stop. But here's what won't stop: bills, taxes, and medical issues. Sure, there's Social Security, but that may not be enough. Steve All and his team at the All Financial Group can show you potential ways to develop a new stream of income that can last as long as you live. Kind of like having your own personal pension. You won't have to worry about whether the market is up or down or who's sitting in the White House. You can spend your time instead on the things that matter, like family, friends, and doing the things you never had time to do before. Call Steve All today at 636-230-8824. That's 636-230-8824 and schedule a custom income review at no charge. Or find us online at yourmoneymattersstl.com. Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Your summer food game is only as strong as what you're working with. This July 4th at Lowe's, get up to 45% off select major appliances and save up to an additional 25% off when you bundle select major appliances. Plus, save $50 on a select Pit Boss DX Smart Electric Smoker, now $249. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 6/24 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for more details.
Spring is here in St. Louis, and if you're thinking about selling, now's the time. But timing is only part of it. This is Debbie Monterey, and I'm with Gloria Liu, your home sold guaranteed realty. Gloria, why is it still so important to choose the right realtor?
Simple. Not every home is selling fast or for top dollar. Here's the difference. I already have the buyers. With over 2,400 buyers in waiting, I'm not just listing your home. I'm matching it with demand. That's how I offer my guaranteed sale program. We sit down, agree on the price and timeline, and if your home doesn't sell, I'll buy it myself. But my goal isn't to buy your home, it's to sell it for the most money possible in the least amount of time. And that's exactly what my system does. My clients don't have to hope their home sells. I guarantee it.
If you're selling your home this spring, call the one I trust, Gloria Liu, 314-325-6888 or GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at LanceDruryLaw.com.
Pros, save more on what you need to get the job done right now at Lowe's. Get 15% off select custom entry and interior doors. Plus, save $80 on the DeWalt 20-volt Max 2-tool combo kit, now just $169. And at the Lowe's Pro Desk, bring us your materials list and get a quote in minutes. Handwritten, a photo, or even a sticky note is all you need. Keep your jobs moving faster and on budget at Lowe's. Valid through 7/8 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
And the match is about to begin.
Most of the team is out with COVID-19, so there'll be some substitutes tonight.
What's this? We have an unexpected guest on the field.
It's a dog. Well, they could do with extra players.
She's going for the ball.
Are front paws hands or feet?
Soccer season is full of surprises, and COVID-19 could be one of them. If you test positive, prescription medications may help. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Learn more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX. Sponsored by Community America Credit Union and Des Peres. Invested in STL. Invested in you. Now open.
Still here. Still trusted. The voice of St. Louis. KMOX.
Dave Simons with us again here on KMOX, partner and managing director of One Private Wealth. Dave, we just talked about the economic impact of the World Cup and sports in general. And we're also curious about Kevin Warsh, who is the new Fed chair and has spent a short period of time as the new chair. What do we really know about him after his first meeting last Wednesday?
Well, I give him a big thumbs up. for the first meeting for a couple of reasons. One, a lot of folks think that Kevin Walsh was put in there sort of as Trump's yes man. He's going to be Trump's lackey because we know that the president wants rates to be lower. He's been wanting the Fed to cut rates. They're too high. He wants to spur the economy, get the stock market juiced even higher. And Jay Powell wouldn't do it, so we know how Donald Trump feels about Jay Powell, tried to fire him. So when he nominated Kevin Walsh and, just loved the guy and spoke very highly of him, a lot of people said, oh, okay, we know why he chose Walsh. This guy's going to get in there and he's going to try to convince his fellow Fed people to lower rates and he's going to show all this data. And I never bought that. That people who believe that were looking at it only through a political lens. If you go back and look at Kevin Walsh's bio, his history, his pedigree, he's a tight money guy, always has been, which basically means he prefers higher rates to ward off inflation. And we have higher inflation now. So sure enough, what did Kevin Walsh do and say after his first meeting last week? He talked about the threat of inflation. He talked about the importance of price stability. More of the Fed folks who vote switched their votes from the previous meeting saying we may end up cutting rates by the end of the year to I think we're going to have to raise rates. Interestingly, not a peep from the president for now. So that's one thing that I give the big thumbs up to Kevin Walsh. Not surprising to me, but I think a lot of relief there that he is not the president's yes man, and that's important because we need the independence there. Secondly, and this is big, it's a little bit more opaque. You'd have to study the Fed to know what I'm talking about, but this is really important to all of us as investors. You have these big institutions and their algorithms and their computers who would get ready to trade as soon as the Fed made their announcement. And every word that came out, oh, that's bullish, that's bearish. And you'd have their computers would go into overdrive and we'd get all this volatility going into the Fed meeting and coming out. It was just ridiculous. And mom and pop investors like the rest of us would sit back and go, what is going on? How do we even trade into that? Well, you can't. Kevin Walsh wants that to end. And we saw it. After a Fed meeting in the past, they would produce this litany of paperwork that they would hand out to the financial press. This is what we just talked about, with all these footnotes and digging deep into all kinds of arcane financial language and all this, and they would have to parse through it. This time, Kevin Walsh released a statement that you could pretty much put on a postcard. And one analyst looked at it and said, this was more like a tweet than a report. And I loved it. And he kind of hinted that he might do that. In his worldview, less is more, because all of that was a lot about predicting where we're going, predicting. Remember, a few months ago, most Fed members thought we're going to be cutting rates. 3 months later, at this most recent meeting, no, I think we're going to raise rates. What was the value of the guidance back in March? It meant nothing, because they changed their mind. And that's what Kevin Walsh's point is. Why should we do this only for the benefit of Wall Street to make a prediction that they can trade off of? So we're not going to do that anymore. Kevin Walsh becomes the first Fed governor ever, historically, to not issue any guidance, the so-called dot plot. He said, I don't know what's going to happen. We're just going to look at the data. So it's an A+ for me for Kevin Walsh. He may be wrong on some things down the road, and I'll criticize him for that. But after his first meeting, I like what I saw.
Good deal. Dave, what about switching back to the current market, the technology sell-off that's happening? How big is it, and what is the significance of it?
I know for people who own tech stocks out there, there's a little bit of gnashing of teeth going on right now because it's a little painful. Let me assure you that this is a very positive development, something that I've been talking about as well. Look, I know there's a lot of folks who fear that we are in an AI bubble and it could grow as big as the internet bubble a quarter century ago. And of course, we don't want that because the market got cut in half and tech stocks fell 70, 80% and more. And I've been saying we're not there yet, but we could get there if we don't have some meaningful corrections in these tech stocks along the way. That's what we're getting. Look, these companies aren't going anywhere. Their revenues are going to continue to grow, but the stocks themselves, sometimes they just they don't follow the reality of the numbers. They get so overvalued. And then I start to worry, yeah, we could have some bubblicious environment here. So to have this correction happen is very positive. While, by the way, other parts of the market that are non-tech are actually going up in value. That's another positive sign. So I tell people, look, I don't think we've got a big bear market in front of us, certainly no crash. If you own good quality stocks, hang in there. This too will pass. It's very needed.
Any thoughts on Alan Greenspan, who recently passed away?
Yeah, I got into the business when he was the Fed chairman back in the day. Look, all these Fed chairmen, like I just said, Kevin Warsh is going to face his criticism. One of the things about Greenspan is he helped to create the internet bubble because of some easy money policies. And then eventually he left in 2006, right before the housing bubble collapsed, and people will blame him for that. But for the most part, I thought he was very, very solid. He presided over what we now call the great moderation of the late 80s through the 90s, very strong economy. Let me, this is very important. He was one of the few people who understood what the internet was going to do for the economy before it really even took off. And a lot of people were fearing that it would create inflation, all this extra economic activity. He said, no. No, the internet is actually going to cause deflation because our productivity levels will go up. So we're going to be able to do more with less. And he was spot on. And so we had this great moderation under the Fed chairman, Alan Greenspan. So, lastly, he kind of created the modern Fed as we know it. They've become personalities since him, because he was the first to say, oh, there's a camera on. I'm going to go find it. I want to be on TV. I'm going to tell everybody what I think. And Fed chairman before that didn't know that. They were pretty much living in the shadows. And now everybody knows who Jay Powell, Kevin Warsh, Ben Bernanke, Janet Yellen are. And that all started really with Alan Greenspan.
Dave Simons, we love speaking with you. We will do it again next week.
Looking forward to it, guys. We'll talk next Tuesday.
That is Dave Simons. He is partner and managing director of One Private Wealth, who joins us every Tuesday here on 104.1 FM KMOX. It is perfect weather. Kind of right now. I mean, it's about 79, 80 degrees in St. Louis. Apparently in Europe, though, it is gross and bad and terrible. And there's a lot that goes along with that. All these Europeans are here. They're here right now experiencing this nice weather. We're back home. It sucks. We'll talk more about that because there is more to get into regarding it. And right now, you know, all those Europeans and the international folks are in the United States for one big reason, a massive soccer tournament. It is the biggest stage in the world in sports, and by a lot. And FanDuel is changing the game, because if you've decided to bet a player during this tournament, you know, your player could get subbed out late in the game. And if that happens, your bet usually goes along with them. Well, you don't want that, and FanDuel doesn't want it either. So they've introduced FanDuel Super Sub, which means if your player is subbed out, your bet stays in. Yep, if your player leaves the match, your bet rolls on with the new guy, the substitute who comes in for him. So that means you can stay in the game right up until the final whistle. And FanDuel wants you to be able to stay in on the action. And this is a fantastic way to do it. Just go to FanDuel.com/Missouri to get started now. That is FanDuel.com/Missouri. The app is safe, it is secure, and you're going to get paid out instantly if you win with FanDuel. FanDuel.com/Missouri. Let there be goals this summer on FanDuel. Must be 21 or over and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All access with Ollie Marmol on the Gas House Gang.
I show up every day looking forward to what's next for this group. This group fits my personality to a T. I love what we're doing. I love how we're going about it. I love the honest conversations. I love the grit. And there's been certain times where I've caught myself where bases are loaded, our back's up against the wall, and I can't help but smile. I show up every day looking forward to what's next for this group.
Ollie Marmol, Tuesdays at noon on KMOX. Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
74 degrees, and right now, not a cloud in the sky outside Studio B. Partly sunny today and pleasant, a high of 83. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 65. Weather sponsored by Financial and Tax Strategies.
If your retirement plan is mostly what if and a little fingers crossed, you deserve better answers than that. Check out Wealth and Wisdom Saturdays at 7 a.m. here on KMOX. I'm Gary Goldberg. Call 800-966-1690.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Onyx, I keep having stomach issues. Please make me a doctor's appointment.
Okay, are you suffering from diarrhea, bloating, gas, or oily stools? If so, you may want to ask your doctor if it could actually be a problem with your pancreas, called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI.
My pancreas? How is EPI treated?
A prescription medicine like Creon, pancrelipase, is used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes. Creon is the #1 prescribed treatment for EPI.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you are allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor, and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon. You can learn more at 1-800-633-9110.
Before your appointment, visit creoninfo.com. That's CREON info.com.
Bill, that's a big smile for an old politician.
I'm thinking about our plan. It's slick enough to make a lobbyist blush. First, we hoodwink voters with Amendment 5. Tell them it's a tax cut. Once they're hooked, we decide who pays the higher taxes.
So it's not a tax cut plan, and we don't get a say?
Right, just swaps who pays the tax, but it does remove 3 voter-passed taxpayer constitutional protections. That lets us levy new taxes on services, increase sales taxes, and even tax home sales. And voters will no longer get to vote on tax hikes.
Higher sales taxes on groceries, gas, service taxes on doctor visits, childcare, and even rent on apartments. Jeez. Taxes could exceed 20%.
Sure, they figure that up to 80% of taxpayers will pay more taxes. Many, hundreds more. Seniors, they'll get hit even harder, but our big donors will cut a fat hog.
The ones getting butchered by Amendment 5 are most taxpayers. I'm voting no on 5.
Paid for by Missourians for fair taxation.
Save big on landscaping projects at Menards. Transform your outdoor living space with easy, no-cut block projects. From fire pits and grill stations to planters and fountains. We offer hundreds of free project plans that are easy to build with no block cutting required. Check out our huge selection of concrete landscaping block at Menards. And view our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
This is the Gas House Gang from KMOX.
Bernie Nicholas and the Gas House Gang, today at noon on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
All right, Ranj, I know you like to complain about the heat and humidity.
Sure do.
And the dew point, especially in St. Louis.
Dew point today is pretty good. We're in good shape.
But here's the thing. It's actually pretty serious because we've talked about all the Europeans coming to the United States and discovering American abundance, whether it's soda choices or land and national parks or gas stations like Buc-ee's. But they're also, I think, relishing the abundance of air conditioning because, as probably a lot of people know, air conditioning is rather scarce in Europe in general. Historically, they really haven't needed it because it would occasionally get very hot in Europe, but it's not something that they're used to, which is also why we're seeing some of the European players struck by the heat here when they're out on the pitch, partly because their seasons also end in the summer, so they're not used to playing in the heat and so forth. But a number that I've been looking at the past few years that still blows my mind, and I would want to break down the numbers even more because it seems really, really high. But the World Health Organization estimates that more than 175,000 Europeans die from heat-related causes each year. Additionally, from Nature Medicine and the WHO, that summer-focused studies track excess mortality in the summer to 62,000 summer heat deaths. That was in 2024 alone. 62,000 heat deaths in Europe. And Europe right now is under a huge heat wave and a heat warning because temperatures, for instance, in France this week, well, today, hit 40 degrees Celsius, which is 104 degrees Fahrenheit in France. And remember, most people don't have AC. It's 104 degrees. We talk about heat in St. Louis hitting 104 and how most of us have AC, but we focus on cool down St. Louis, right? People who are homeless, people who are elderly, people who may be living in older units that don't have AC, check in on them. That's like all of France.
Yep.
And a lot of Italy and Switzerland. And they've also said that when it comes to global warming, Europe is warming at more than twice the global average. So these are not one-offs when we're looking at these really hot summers in Europe. And I don't really have a point or a solution other than to say, I saw an old video, and I think it was from BBC, but it was from a European news station going back in the late 90s. And they were looking at global warming. And they said by 2050, Europe is going to see temperatures of 40 degrees Celsius. We're in the 2020s, and they're there.
It's happening quicker.
It's happening.
Yeah.
It's happening way quicker than they thought. Is Europe going to transition to AC? Shouldn't they transition to AC? Like, of all the issues plaguing Europe right now, and they have a lot, I haven't really heard politicians talk about, hey, I don't know that we can solve global warming in time. Maybe we should start like some type of effort to make air conditioning more available. Because doesn't that seem like a lot of deaths?
Well, it seems like you could probably, if you're an HVAC expert, you can move to Europe and probably make some bank, don't you think?
I would think so. Unless they, and I don't know what their regulations,
kind of rules.
Though.
Yeah, they might have regulations against it. Another thing that France has done, because it is so hot, is they've apparently banned outdoor drinking.
Really?
So, yes, because they don't want people consuming alcohol outdoors. They say it's to preserve emergency services so that medics can take care of more vulnerable people who might need it. They're also limiting sporting events that are taking place outdoors as well. And that's a thing we do. I mean, when it comes to extreme heat, they will cancel youth sports and stuff like that, right? Which I think is the smart thing to do. They don't cancel baseball games, Major League Baseball. Cardinals don't cancel
but they have
because it's going to be 100.
They have AC in their clubhouses, too.
They do have AC in the clubhouse.
Well,
right?
and I will say this, because people are trying to cool off, in the past 2 days, 40 people have drowned in France alone because people are trying to go to bodies of water to cool off. And Ron, I guess I'm just struggling. I feel like, shouldn't we do something? Shouldn't they do something? Europe.
Well,
I just feel so wrong.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know what they can do other than everybody just has to start getting AC.
Yeah.
But
I think that's the easiest option. It's easier than immediately. You're not going to solve global warming by next summer.
No. But we do need to take it seriously and stop pushing back against it, because I think there are too many people. It's not just in this country, but it is around the world who don't think it's as big of a deal as it actually is. That's Amy Marks-Kors. I'm Chris Ranji. When we come back, we're going to talk to head coach of the St. Louis Blues, Jim Montgomery. He will join us in just a little bit. The NHL draft is coming up in a few days. We'll talk to him about the Blues when we come back on KMOX.
All right, it is summer, and Rottler, man, they are the folks for you. Visit Rottler.com. Rottler.com. Let's say you've got kids, you've got pets, they're playing outside in the yard. Well, mild winters often lead to higher tick populations. We know it's a bad year for ticks, and they're really active right now, late spring through late summer. Rottler can help reduce tick activity around your property to help keep your kiddos, your pets, safer. Same thing with mosquitoes. Rottler has a program that reduces mosquito activity so family can families can enjoy their outdoor spaces. Technicians identify and treat mosquito breeding areas. It targets mosquito larvae, and so it can reduce populations for weeks at a time. And also, if you've been working really hard in your yard and you are so frustrated with moles that are ruining your green grass that you fertilized, you sodded, Rottler has a year-round warranted protection mole service. Visit them today. They can help protect you and your family. They've been doing it for 70 years. Rottler.com.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM KMOX.
Get ready for a night back with legendary hits and non-stop energy. Bryan Adams is bringing the Roll with a Bunches tour to Enterprise Center Friday, July 24th.
Hello, this is Bryan Adams.
Sing along to the classics as Bryan Adams delivers an unforgettable night of rock anthems. Plus, special guests Pat Benatar and Neil Giraldo. Bryan Adams, July 24th. For more info, KMOX.com/events.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
This is a test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test. This has been a test of the emergency alert system. This was only a test.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2026 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
I'm John Morgan. There are many reasons to hire Morgan & Morgan for your injury case. Reason number 3. First, all lawyers are not the same. If my family had an injury case and I couldn't hire us, there are only about 3 to 4% of the lawyers out there that I would hire. And here's why. Most of them rarely, if ever, go to trial. They just take the last best offer. Hell, you can do that yourself. Do this. If you're looking for a lawyer, Google Morgan & Morgan results and see what comes up. It may shock you. Then Google the firm you're thinking of hiring and do the same. That may shock you as well. We became the largest injury firm in the world for a reason. We won a lot. $30 billion and counting. Morgan & Morgan. For the people.com. Who would I hire? I'd hire us.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
Missouri's laws are clear. Unregulated gaming devices are illegal. Companies have been telling businesses that gray market machines are legal. That's wrong. Don't be scammed. If you have these devices at your business, you could be subject to criminal and civil penalties. Unplug and remove these devices today.
If you've been approached to host illegal gaming machines, call now. 800-523-1434 or visit ago.mo.gov. Sponsored by the Attorney General's Office.
Grammy award-winning quintet Punch Brothers returns to Powell Hall for a special evening of genre-defying contemporary bluegrass music, featuring the virtuosic talents of mandolinist Chris Thiele, guitarist Chris Eldridge, bassist Paul Cowart, banjoist Noam Pikelny, and violinist Brittany Haas. Punch Brothers creates music and lyrics that are both intellectually daring and emotionally resonant. This is modern string music at its most thrilling, bold, brilliant, and unforgettable. Wednesday, June 24th at Powell Hall at the Jack C. Taylor Music Center. Tickets at slso.org.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores with you on a Tuesday, and we are thrilled to welcome to the show the head coach of your St. Louis Blues, Jim Montgomery. Monty, good to talk with you this morning.
Oh, great to be on your show. Where's Chris? I don't see him.
Well, I'm right here. I'm not allowed to, I guess, be on camera. I don't know.
Hey, you know what? It's
Amy has a better face for camera than you, Chris.
Oh, stop it. You stop that right now.
You know, it's Coach's Day on KMOX because we've got Jim Montgomery. Later on, Ollie Marmol joining the show as he always does, the Gas House Gang on Tuesdays. You guys ever get a beer and just like swap stories?
No, we haven't been able to yet. You know, from my time in Boston and in Dallas, I like to be able to communicate with other coaches. I found football and basketball coaches, just because of our schedule, the seasons are similar or at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Baseball was difficult in Boston, and it's just because it's their busy season when we're done.
Yeah, it can be difficult.
Is there something about the sports that just in conversing with a football coach or a basketball coach, is there something about the nature of the sports that maybe you can get more out of a conversation with that as opposed to baseball, or no?
Well, the sports are a little bit more similar as far as creating 2-on-1s. You know, baseball is unique. It's pitcher and batter until the ball goes in play, and then everybody else gets to play. But I think anytime you're around another coach, how to deal with players, how to deal with the team in good times, bad times, you can always learn from others. And from baseball coaches, I think we could learn a lot as far as they are used to dealing with slumps because they have 162 games. And I would love to be able to pick his brain on how he acts, how he tries to help. You know, because a 3-game losing streak in our season feels like an eternity, where in their season, I think it's a little more normal.
That's a great point because baseball is mostly failure. I mean, that's what it is, whether you're the individual player or, you know, you're looking at the games, you're going to have long slumps. Just how do you build that resilience to move on, have a short memory?
Correct. That's exactly what I'm talking about. And they do it better than any other sport.
All right, I know a lot of Blues fans are excited about the upcoming draft. The Blues enter this draft. They've got 3 first-round picks. They have, and that's only for the 3rd time in franchise history. And for the first time, they have 2 picks in the top 15. They're sitting at 11 and 15. How have those conversations been going? You know, as much as you can say, just within the organization of what the new GM Alexander Steen is looking for, what you're looking for in players?
Well, it's the excitement of, just how good we can become. And we know it's not tomorrow after we draft these guys, these young men, whoever are going to be the Blues of the future. But you put these 3 with Dvorsky, Lidstein, and Stenberg. We have Jiricek, and we have the goal scorer coming from Quebec. I'm forgetting his name right now. There you got 8 first-round picks in the last 3 years, 3 to 4 years. And they're all going to be NHL players, we feel. So, and then you add them to the Thomases, the Kairus, to Brobergs, to Mayu. I mean, it just goes on and on. You know, you have Holloway up front, and you have Neighbors up front, and then you have Hofer in nets, and we have Binnington in nets. It's when these guys all mature together and the aha moment and the lights go off, it's going to be incredible for our fans.
Jim, now that there's been a little bit of distance between the end of the season and now as all the teams are getting ready for the draft in a couple of days, as you look back on 2025-26, what's the first thing that you think about and why things went the way they did?
Just how we got to be a little harder and firmer at net fronts. And that doesn't mean fighting, cross-checking, running all over the place to hit. I just mean that's where goals are scored. The puck has to go through the net front to get in the net. I know that seems simple, but how hard do you defend that area yourself? We didn't do a good enough job the first 60% of the year there. And at the net front offensively, we didn't do a good enough job consistently, and why we had trouble scoring goals consistently.
We spoke last week with Ricky Prohl of the greatest show on turf, the St. Louis Rams and the Catch, and he's coaching the St. Louis Battlehawks now. And I asked him, how much does he pull from his playing career into how he coaches, what he both liked and what he didn't like? What about you and your playing career and your approach to coaching? How much do you pull from what you experienced as a player, and how much has your coaching evolved since you've become a coach?
Yeah, really good question. I don't share much of my playing career with the players because all the players here are better than I was. But you pull a lot of instances of how a coach helped you or how maybe he hindered you by the way he talked to you or didn't talk to you. You pull for myself, I was in the NHL, I was a role player, a fourth line guy. And how valuable those minutes are to the team. And then when I was in the American League, I was a first line player, first power play guy. And being able to relate with the players who play those roles, it gives me a vast experience of how to understand what those guys are going through and to help them either stay hot or get out of a slump.
Talking with Blues coach Jim Montgomery here on KMOX, and there is a transition that is happening here, and by the beginning of next month, Alexander Steen officially becomes the general manager of the team. What has this process been like as we transition from Doug Armstrong to Steen?
For me, it's been real easy and a lot of fun. Both two highly intelligent hockey minds. One is much more like Doug Armstrong is Army's a manager, and I can't say enough great things about him and what he's done for me and what I've seen him do for so many people in the Blues organization, just as people, never mind how much he's made you better professionally. And and then Alexander Steen brings more of a player's mindset, understands the game at such a high level, really understands the players that affect winning habits and play in the right way. And it's great to have both of those men working to work with and to, ask their opinions and continuously develop how we're going to make these Blues better.
Speaking of that, this is now the first time that I believe in your coaching staff, it's like the whole fresh new batch. No one's left over from previous coaches. You named a couple of new assistant coaches. When you went into that process of naming assistant coaches, did you have the categories that you were looking for, say special teams, for instance, and said, I want one coach to handle this and one coach to handle this? Or were all of the categories lumped together and you didn't care how you got there between the two coaches?
No, well, Alexander Steen and I, we developed a list of boxes of traits that we want. And the first guy I was going to hire, I want him to have NHL head coaching experience, preferably, and preferably with a team that has a lot of young, high draft picks. Greg Cronin coached the Anaheim Ducks. They have tons of high-end young players that are really starting to blossom now. And he understands, he grew up with the growing pains with that. And he also has had a tremendous career on the defensive side of the puck and penalty killing. So once we were able to connect with Greg and understand that he was going to be the guy in that role, then it was really easy to shift to the rest of the traits of, we need a power play guy now. I wanted someone that had preferably played NHL games and understood what it's like to be a top-end forward, to be relied on, to score big goals and big moments on the power play, 5-on-5. And Vinny Prospal fit all those traits for us. So once we had those two in place, we're able to add a real high-end technical video guy that's had tremendous success in Edmonton and Nashville in his career, and spent the last 5 years, running the database of the video systems that work the NHL. So we're bringing in a really talented crew, and now we're going to spend, starting tomorrow morning, we're going to spend 4 days in a row getting to know each other and talk systems and talk shop and have some lunches together and just get opportunity to get to know each other personally.
So as we say goodbye here, you've got the draft coming up here. What happens after the draft as you get ready for next season, which is, it's really not that far away. I mean, I always talk about the NHL season being really long and the offseason being so short, and it seems to be true.
It is really true. But you know what? St. Louis allows you to have a good time in the summer with the pools and the barbecue food and the great golf courses here. Unfortunately, because our season ended so short, I'm playing the best golf I've played in probably 2 decades. But it is fun to, break 80 every once in a while now.
There you go. All right. Well, here's to hopefully a lot less golf for you next summer.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Hopefully you're really struggling on the course.
That's right. Jim Montgomery, head coach of the Blues, we appreciate it. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you, Chris and Amy.
Thank you.
Yep, the draft starts on June 26th. That is just 3 days away from now. Blues, 3 first-round picks? How about that? Let's go.
Yeah.
It is the Chris and Amy show on KMOX. We got 1 more hour to go. Then the Gas House Gang, as Amy mentioned. Oliver Marmol, his day on the show. He'll be with us at noon on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Hey guys, summer is right around the corner, and right now Universal Windows Direct is making it easier than ever to get the job done. When you buy 4 windows, you get 4 for free. That's one of their biggest offers of the year. The more windows you replace, the more you save. Plus, you'll get 48 months of 0% interest financing, same as cash. 314-334-2522 or visit universalwindowsdirect.com to schedule your free estimate today. That's universalwindowsdirect.com.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for buying gas. That's right. You can earn cash back with Upside just for buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside, and just last year, I made nearly $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get cash back? If you like extra cash, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back when you fill your tank. Use promo code FRESH to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
Another app for inventory, one for CRM. Oh, don't forget accounting. Wait, which login was that?
Or you could use Odoo, one fully integrated system that does it all without the hassle. Ditch the app overload. Get everything your business needs on one platform. Try Odoo free today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
It is 11 o'clock, and right now we've got sunshine, 75 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey. A school bus driver has been charged after allegedly driving under the influence.
Donna Brennan faces 1 count of driving while intoxicated and 37 counts of endangering the welfare of a child. According to a probable cause statement on February 6th, Brennan was caught consuming alcohol just prior to transporting over 3 dozen children on a Dunklin R5 school bus. A breathalyzer determined the driver's blood alcohol level to be .029. Brennan admitted to police to drinking half a bottle of Coors Light prior to driving the school bus. In a statement, the Dunklin R5 school district said they terminated Brennan immediately after learning of the situation, and parents were notified via email at the time. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
A UN agency says a plan is underway to evacuate 11,000 stranded seafarers through the Strait of Hormuz. The announcement from the International Maritime Organization comes as the U.S. and Iran dispute whether Tehran has agreed to allow UN inspectors to view bombed Iranian nuclear sites. Iran says there's been no scheduled visits for inspectors, appearing to contradict comments made by both President Trump and Vice President Vance. Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian met with Pakistani officials today. The number of New World screwworm cases has risen to 16.
On a South Texas ranch, those on the front line in the battle against New World screwworm show off the drones that are buzzing over ranches and open.
Operating budgets. Superintendent Mark Delaney tells the Business Journal they're projected to lose about $9.3 million in state funding over the next 2 years, at a time when the district is seeing higher costs for labor, insurance, fuel, supplies, and more.
A nice afternoon with sunshine and a few clouds, the high 82, partly to mostly cloudy tonight, those 68. Clouds and some sunshine and becoming more humid tomorrow. There can be a thunderstorm around in the afternoon, high 83. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Right now it is sunny and 75 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
Sponsored by Gloria Lou, with your home sold guaranteed realty, 314-325-6888.
Need to sell your home and you want the most money? The name to remember is Gloria Lou. Yes, Gloria Lou, with your home sold guaranteed realty at 314-325-6888 and start packing.
Chris Ranji, Amy Marks Kors. The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
All right. Matt and I, Ranj, have a pocket full of car-related stories.
Yeah.
For some reason, it's just a lot of automobile stories. So we decided we would package them into a little basket of car stories.
Nice.
Mine is a late to the party for one of them. And I want to know if our listeners have done this. But did you know that you can renew your expired tags on your license plate over the phone? So not online, but over the phone. And I did not know this. I've never done this. 314-436-7900 if you have. And Matt didn't even want me to bring it up. He was so embarrassed that I didn't know about it.
Well, when you said that, I thought you meant online. Are you saying you called up?
You call a number.
Okay, I misunderstood.
Oh, okay.
I did not know you could call in and get your plates renewed.
Over the phone.
Yeah, I have done it over the phone online. I've pulled up the website on my phone and done it, but I've never
mean
called
on the phone?
online. Yeah, on my iPhone on the Safari app. Yeah,
Yeah.
But I've never called the DMV or Department of whatever and done this.
I don't think I have either.
They just said you need these documents. I guess you're just reading them number. To me,
That sounds
it didn't
sketchy.
make sense. And now I'm doubting everything. But it said by phone. It wasn't a link. It wasn't online. And I know they had it for a while because I wanted to renew my plates online a couple of years ago, and I guess I wasn't eligible to do so. So I don't know if I'm eligible to do so by phone.
Maybe I have done this.
This is terrible radio.
Now that I think about it.
It's us just trying to
This is your
remember.
idea.
I know, that's
Don't
why,
blame me for
that's
it.
why Matt said don't do it.
Did he?
Yeah. 314-436-7900. Have you called a number and renewed your plates and gotten new tags over the phone, like an actual phone number? So that's car story number one.
How wonderfully convenient, though, to be able to do this, isn't it?
It is wonderfully convenient. I like online better. I feel like maybe uploading documents. Are you just reading numbers? How are you getting these documents? Because you have to have your receipt for your personal property tax. You have to have your proof of insurance.
No, you
have to have your vehicle emissions
you don't.
paper.
All you have to do is tell them to trust you. Trust me, I got all that stuff.
I have it.
We're
I
good.
have it. Well, it's all printed out. I've got it ready to go.
Yeah.
But I wanted to try it by phone just to see if it's a thing. Matthew was in. You thought our tiff with the garden hotline was nasty.
Oh, that's
Matt was
nothing.
in a really bad war
with a quick change, a quick oil change. place.
nationwide.
Yes,
quick
chain.
change,
Oh, really?
Chain
Yeah.
oil.
I can't remember if I brought this up before.
What does it rhyme with?
Spiffy
tube.
Spiffy tube? Okay. Well, tell us what Spiffy Tube did to you.
So at this fictional oil change place called Spiffy Tube, probably 2 or 3 months ago, I got an oil change there. And
Did they replace it with oil? Did they take out the old oil and put in new
They did that
new
part.
stuff?
So they did the minimum. They did that. Yes, they changed the oil. What they also did, and I wish they hadn't done this. They check for everything else. They're going to check the air intake, the cabin filter, all that stuff. I'm like, they'll always suggest that you need a new one, which I always say no to. Now I've learned, don't even let them look at it. Don't even let them check it. After I got my oil change, I noticed that every time I accelerate, my car gets super loud. It just sounds like it's pushing real hard.
Oh.
I'm like, oh no. So I take it to our friend Greg Damon at Sparks Tire and Auto.
Oh boy.
in St. Charles. And he's like, Matt, there are no screws in your air intake box. Like the box is like flapping open.
Come on.
And I said, well, I did get it checked recently at a quick oil change
Spiffy
place.
Tube.
At the Spiffy Tube. And he's like, don't do that. I'm not saying anything new. He said this on our show before. He says part of their business plan or part of their budget is reserved for.
He told me the same thing.
Employees who make mistakes on people's cars and then they refund them.
They have to account for it, kind of like businesses account for a certain amount of shoplifting a year.
Yes.
Yeah.
So my air intake box had no screws in it. It was flapping open when I would accelerate. And of course, Greg could not buy the screws individually. He's like, I have to get you a whole new box. I'm thinking, great. He does the labor. It's $250. He says, take this receipt. I give you a write-up. Take this back to your oil change place and present them with this receipt. Say, you guys owe me big time because you created a problem by not screwing the darn thing back in. It took me over a month to go through the claims process with this oil change place and finally got a check in the mail for the full amount that I asked.
Very good.
I'm so relieved.
Good job.
I want to say all is forgiven, but I don't know if I
don't know.
Go back.
They rectified the problem.
Yeah, but also
they didn't. Did they fight you on it?
The people at the shop were not the most helpful.
Well, of course not.
So I spent a lot of time emailing and on the phone with customer service, and that took over a month.
Well, I'm glad you got your money back.
Thanks.
But it's, did you guys see? And this is a little bit of a different. It's similar, but it's different.
Okay.
It's not It's not like what happened to Matt where they screwed something up. But there was a story from last year of somebody had taken their car in to get it worked on. And when the mechanic opened up the car and then looked inside the engine, they found a wallet.
Okay.
Like a wallet that had been in there for 10 years. And apparently it happened at the Ford manufacturing plant. And I think it was in Michigan where it happened. And the guy had worked on however many hundreds of cars that day. And I guess he explains himself that he wore sweatpants this one day to work. And because of that, he put his wallet in his shirt pocket.
Yeah.
He was leaning over the car, assembly line, lost his wallet, didn't realize it till later. And I guess they went through all these cars. I couldn't find the wallet. No idea where it was. And so they got a hold of, the car owner and the mechanic, found the wallet. And so they tracked this guy down and they found him and they called, say, hey, I'm a mechanic from such and such place in Minnesota, I think. And we found your wallet. And he goes, was it in a car? Was it in a Ford? They're like, yes, it was. How about that? This wallet, it had money in it still. It had money, had his cards, his driver's license, it had everything. Sitting in a car's engine for 10 years. Such
That's
a
wild.
funny story.
That it I guess, stayed relatively intact.
It did. I know CBS News or Sunday mornings or whatever, they covered it last year.
That's pretty funny.
It is.
All right. My next car story. It's always interesting driving downtown. Partly because there are so few cars downtown, it seems, even at rush hour, that when I get off at 14th Street and I make my way down to Olive, where this building is, it's like a 2-minute drive. But you see a lot of interesting things. Like I said, sometimes I talked about the half-naked guy that was giving everybody the double finger just standing in the middle of the road.
Mhm.
That was kind of interesting. But even with driving, you have to, you keep your head on a swivel. We've talked about the really wide arterial roads like Tucker because there isn't traffic. And
Well, there is now, by the way.
Right, yes, there is now. And they've, because of the sinkhole.
The sinkhole
is redirecting
My
people.
commute to work has increased by 4 times, I think,
Yeah.
because there's so much traffic on it. People can't get
Yeah.
off downtown.
Which is great that they just narrowed it. And they just narrowed Tucker, right, to
Yep.
make it safer because Tucker was wider than I-70, basically. So they put in the extra parking lanes. They put in pedestrian/bike lanes. So they've really narrowed Tucker, and they have all of these curb bump outs to try to make it safer for pedestrians and for drivers downtown. But here's the thing. While I was driving the 2 minutes to work, I saw 2 people blow through a stop sign at an intersection. So, I stopped. Anyway, one guy was backing up an entire block on a one-way street because I guess he decided he didn't want to go that way. Still don't understand why he didn't just turn, but he backed up the entire block. And I thought, a lot of the traffic violence or violations that we see downtown would self-correct with more traffic. Because you can't do
drive
those
like an
things.
idiot.
Yes. You can't drive like an idiot when there are other cars on the road. This is not groundbreaking. It was interesting to me that some of the wildest, weirdest drive-in maneuvers that take place that are so dangerous, and even pedestrians on the road, is partly because the roads aren't busy enough.
We've got Mark in Wentzville. This better be riveting, Mark. What do you have for us?
Yes, you asked about the renewing of the driver's plates, your tags for your car on the phone.
Yes.
And I just did this process.
How was it?
A lot easier and a lot smoother than what I thought.
Okay. Well, that's great because we've had some texters.
Did you tell them to just trust you?
Well, to that point, we had some texters that say the DMV already has your emissions and personal property tax in their system, which is weird because why do they make you bring it? But is that what they said, that they just trusted you and looked it up in their system?
Well, it's not really a trust. If you think back the last couple of years, if you had forgotten your personal property tax, some locations will actually look it up, but they'll charge you to do that. So it's all in the system. It's all accessible to them, but you still have to do your due diligence for your inspection and or emissions and insurance and make sure that's up to date. And then, yes, they just kind of like pull up your name, your VIN number. Everything comes up, I think, by your VIN number, verifies that you paid everything, and then they mail it to you. And boy, was it maybe 2 weeks later, I got the tags in the mail.
See, this doesn't make sense to me, though, because the last time I got my tags renewed, I had the vehicle emissions paper. I had the receipt for my personal property tax. But like most people, my insurance card is on my phone, right? It's a digital card. So I show up, I give them the papers, and I say, here's my insurance, the proof of insurance. And she said, oh, we can't take it on your phone. I'm like, well, it's all on they don't even send me cards anymore. She said, yes, you have to go home and print it out. So I had to leave after waiting for hours. No. I left, printed out my insurance card on an 8x11, by the way, which is a very large insurance card, and brought it there. So if you can renew over the phone and they have it in the system, why did she send me home when she could have just looked up my insurance in the first place?
Well, that is, look, it should be the most convenient process, but I've noticed that a lot of things are not as convenient as they should be. That appears to be one of them. I've never bought a car in Missouri, though.
So you paid your taxes.
No, I did.
When you bought
what am I
it
talking about? I just did. Yeah. Yeah, I just did. So it was that was a relatively smooth process. I feel like they took care of everything right up front.
It's not that it's... Oh, but that's
I had to
new.
get my plates mailed to me.
You paid your sales tax up front?
Yes.
That's new. That's new.
Yeah.
I have never bought a car in Missouri where you could pay your sales tax up front. You had to go back like in a week to the DMV and write a check for...
Just don't make a multi-step process for people.
Like I said, why cry twice when you can just cry once?
See, I agree with you. Texter here says they found an open pocket knife in their engine bay. Of course, the mechanic said it wasn't theirs after I had my serpentine belt replaced. You don't drop your... If you're working on a car, if you're listening to this show right now and you're working on a vehicle, I would advise not dropping a wallet or a knife or your baby.
This is a true story.
Okay.
I have a good friend who had like a diamond ring, maybe like $2,000. It was a nice diamond ring, right? Not...
Yeah.
Anyway, and she
Is it stolen?
Dropped it in the middle console of her car, like not in the middle console, but between the middle console and the seat somewhere.
Okay.
And we looked and looked and looked and couldn't find it. So we thought maybe it fell somehow into the undercarriage. I don't know. So we took it to, I think it was a Spiffy Lube, and we asked them, "Can you just like take this apart?" And not surprisingly, they did not find the ring. But how does it just disappear? Does that mean somebody found the ring? There's no way for the ring to fall through the entire car and land in the highway. I don't think it can. That's not how cars work.
There's got to be a way.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
Somewhere there's a diamond ring out there.
I know it's not airtight. I know that. Cars are not airtight.
Oh, I know that.
So, I don't know, man. But if you find it, do you get to keep it? I think so.
No, it's not true. Not if they bring it in to find it.
I think if they take the car in to get it serviced and the person working on it finds a diamond ring, I think they get to keep it. That's what I say. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX. Don't forget, Oliver Marmol on the Gas House Gang at 12. That is happening today on 104.1 FM.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-720-8444. 314-720-8444. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-720-8444.
Let me tell you something about insurance. When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's the finish line. Handshake, commission, done. Then you may not hear from them again until it's time for renewal. But your business runs all year, so do the gaps and the risk. So go to Supersure.com. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, CFO, or HR manager, it can be too complex to just go buy a policy online. Supersure is the super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, all with year-round support for you and your team. At Supersure.com, you can access tools like fine print facts. It'll translate your current policy into plain English so you see what's covered and what's not. Plus a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth so you know what actually needs protecting. Go to Supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies in one place. Supersure.com. That's Supersure.com. Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
Amendment 4 on the August ballot hides some ugly facts. It would create a new minority veto power, but only for ballot issues that are citizen-led. I just say no to that. Amendment 4 permanently ends majority rule for citizen-led ballot issues.
I'm a no on 4.
Politicians put Amendment 4 on the ballot to severely limit citizens' constitutional power.
I say no on 4.
4 is a power grab by politicians. It lets one congressional district veto reforms backed by the majority of voters statewide. giving as few as 5% of voters control over the rest of us.
That's why I say no to 4.
4 would make it nearly impossible to rein in out-of-control politicians.
I say heck no.
4 takes away our constitutional power we've used for over 100 years to pass reforms that politicians wouldn't. Keep majority rule and your power. Just say no to Amendment 4. It's an ugly politician power grab. Paid for by Missourians for Fair Governance.
After a disaster, emotional recovery takes time. Show Me Hope Missouri is here for you with free confidential support. Counselors help with stress, coping skills, and connect to resources. If the St. Louis tornado impacted you, visit moshowmehope.org from Missouri Department of Mental Health.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
If you're only good to your new friends, you're not going to have any old ones. Straight Talk gets it. That's why new and existing customers get free 5G phones on Verizon's 5G network. Pretty simple, really. You keep good people by being good people.
Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Taxes and fees apply. Plan purchase required for free phone offers. Copyright 2026 Verizon.
This summer, there's no better place to catch Team USA in the FIFA World Cup 26 than the Beer Garden at Anheuser-Busch. We hosted KMOX listeners there last week, and trust us, the atmosphere is incredible. Huge screens, great seats everywhere, ice-cold beer, $15 Michelob Ultra pitchers, $20 Ultra buckets, $5 Ultra drafts, and collectible FIFA cups while supplies last. Bring your crew, cheer on Team USA at the Beer Garden. Visit BudweiserTours.com for details.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX, sponsored by Community America Credit Union and Des Peres. Invested in STL. Invested in you. Now open.
Today, the Cards, the D-backs.
Cameron Total Access 550. First pitch 6:45.
Cardinals Radio, 104.1 FM KMOX.
Text messages to 314-436-7900. Texter here would like to know, or always wonders, they say, about the gear shift opening on the console. I've dropped things down there before and wonder where they go.
Maybe that's what it is.
You think it's
where
in that
she
little
dropped
box?
It.
The little, yeah.
Well, I mean,
gear
this was
shift
20 years ago.
Is the car gone?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well then.
Well, we had it, taken apart by Spiffy Tube. I don't know, but they said they didn't find anything. And when I say we ripped it apart as much as we could, where did it go? Maybe it was down the gear shift opening.
It went to the back pocket of the guy working at Spiffy Tube.
It might have.
I don't know what the resale value on a ring like that is.
I think it's pretty high.
Is it?
It was from the 1800s, and it was a beautiful diamond.
Yeah, okay, I need somebody
And we
to...
didn't report it, I don't think.
I have heard, correct me if I am wrong, but I have heard that the resale value of a ring, it's like once you drive a car off the lot, it just doesn't have the same value anymore.
That's not how jewelry
That's what I've
works.
heard.
That's not how gold and diamonds work.
That's what I've heard about engagement rings.
That is why when there are heists, ever heard of a heist? Ever heard of a high-stakes heist?
Yeah,
They're
but,
not stealing
yeah.
Toyota Camrys to resell.
Sorry, Grandma's engagement ring is not the same as
is.
No, it's not.
Listen, if you've got gold and diamonds that you think is losing value, give it to me. I'll take them. They're not losing value.
I've
you
heard
either
that
sell
about
it as a whole or you sell it for parts.
I've heard this about engagement rings, that they are not worth what you paid for them once you buy them and take them away.
I mean, unless it's like you're being upsold because it's a name and you're trying to resell it. You're trying to resell it as is. But all I know, I mean, diamonds and gold, they're not going to lose value.
Yeah, but what you pay for it is probably more than the gold and the diamond itself is worth.
That might be fair if you go to a place that's a name brand and they're upcharging you. For sure. That could be true.
Secondary market value is typically only 30 to 50% of what you paid.
But
what did I just say?
But I think that's different, right? I guess you're right, maybe with engagement rings and names. But I mean, a lot of value of rings do go up in value, diamonds and gold, for sure.
Harambe says, as someone who has bought 3 rings and never made it to the altar, they don't resell well.
Say it's not true.
I believe Harambe.
He also says the Army was a good time.
Yeah, I believe Harambe.
I mean, I believe you. I guess we're talking about different things. Maybe I'm talking about not the name brand engagement. And I can see how maybe it's specifically engagement ring, because heirloom jewelry, diamonds and gold, you're not going to lose money. But I definitely get what you're saying is if you pay for an engagement ring that is definitely overpriced, either because they overprice everything when it comes to weddings and it may be a name brand, how trying to resell that engagement ring, which is now last season style, right? It could be out of fashion or whatever. I could see how they would not resell well.
That's what I'm saying is that anytime you buy an engagement ring and people are buying them new for the most part,
but I think
that once you buy it, if you pay $5,000 for it or whatever you pay for rings, I don't know. You pay $5,000 for it. There's no way you're making that $5,000 back if you sell it anytime soon.
That's why I think this is different than an engagement ring. It was not an engagement ring. It was an heirloom ring from the 19th century. And it was, the style of it is not like, oh, yes, we walked into David Yurman and bought the engagement ring of the season, which is not going to resell well, and you've already paid way too much because it's David Yurman, versus this was a 19th century ring, diamond, gold, or platinum, whatever it was. You're not going to lose value on it. Definitely not the parts.
I'd like to know about that. I guess, you don't know what they paid for it back in the 1800s, right? So obviously you're going to get more than that. It was probably like $5 back then.
$5.
Everything was $1 back then, so
yeah, but it was hard to get that dollar.
And you paid with a coin, just a singular coin,
and you flipped it in the air.
See, a texter here, and I don't know if this is, if this is a typo or not. So I don't know if they're Big Blonde Dan texting in.
Okay,
but it says, "Hey guys, your big blind friend here." So is it a big blind friend or is it a big blonde Dan?
I think it is blind because we do have a texter.
We do have a blind texter.
Yeah, who texts in a very loyal listener.
So it says, hey guys, your big blind friend here. Need help. Where is the biggest, baddest 250 celebration this year locally to take the kiddos? Well, I think they're doing one at the Arch. July 3rd and 4th.
Oh, there you go.
So, yeah, there's a big celebration.
When it comes to the rings, a texter says Ranji is talking about the rings people buy from crap stores like fill in the blank. I don't know if they're advertisers, but I don't think so. I don't know. But that's what that's why I do think we're both right in this sense, which I don't always say. But engagement rings are different and they are marked up versus heirloom jewelry are two different things.
Chad is in Imperial and is now on KMOX. Hello, Chad.
Hey, how are you doing?
Good. What's up?
I wanted to tell you that I inherited my dad's wedding band. It was valued, and I had it priced at a jeweler for $2,500. The quality and the price of gold are factors when you're getting ready to resell. When I originally tried to resell it, it was if I took it anywhere, it was like $300-400 I was going to get out of it. So what I've done more recently is I just kept it. And it's accrued some value over time. And I took it to a local jeweler that consigns jewelry, and they were going to give me this year $800 for the $2,500 valued ring. Now, they're going to try to resell it, and I don't know what they're going to resell it for because it's on the market right now. I'm just letting it sit there for about a year and see if somebody buys it. But it's a ring that was made back in the 70s, good quality diamonds and gold. So that's kind of the value of the experience that I've had with numbers.
Well, 800's a lot less than 2,500.
A lot less.
So
do you get more for selling it for parts, or is it the specific wedding and engagement? Because
I think they only see it. Honestly, I think when somebody buys it, they only see it as parts.
But
they see like the gold and then the diamond separately,
a store
or whatever.
with a markup, and it's this year's engagement style from, like I said, a place that marks it up. Yeah, I think you're going to lose money.
That's Amy Marks Kors. I'm Chris Ranji. Oliver Marmol on the Gas House Gang today, and that show is happening at 12 o'clock. Tom Ackerman, Bernie Miklas, and me. We will talk to the Cardinals manager. They won last night in the first of a 4-gamer against the Diamondbacks at home, and another one tonight. 5:50 is the pregame show on KMOX. We'll have the first pitch at 6:45.
Some shows are about sports. Some shows are about nothing. This one's kind of both.
So the show's not really a sports show per se, it's just a show. Glover here, we talk about whatever is happening, life, work, random stuff. And yeah, the Cardinals always find their way in. I'm a lifelong fan, love going to the games, love supporting the team, and love hanging out with you guys.
The Dave Glover Show at 1, and then Cardinals baseball.
With summer here and the kids home full-time, your garage door will see a lot more use. Do it a favor with annual maintenance from Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. The 26-point tune-up is one price for up to 3 garage doors and openers. Get them all done. Trusted in St. Louis for 100 years. Always look for the genuine, the original red ribbon of Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Since 1926, they're never going to steer you wrong. Schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
77 degrees and gorgeous right now. Partly sunny and pleasant today, a high of 83. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 65. Weather sponsored by Scott Credit Union.
Upgrade your summer ride with auto loan rates as low as 3.99% APR at Scott Credit Union. New or used, Scott Credit Union helps you love your ride and your rate. Learn more at scu.org. Rates vary, terms and conditions apply.
Let me tell you something about insurance. When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's the finish line. Handshake, commission, done. Then you may not hear from them again until it's time for renewal. But your business runs all year, so do the gaps and the risk. So go to Supersure.com. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, CFO, or HR manager, it can be too complex to just go buy a policy online. Supersure is the super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, all with year-round support for you and your team. At Supersure.com, you can access tools like fine print facts. It'll translate your current policy into plain English so you see what's covered and what's not. Plus a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth so you know what actually needs protecting. Go to Supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies in one place. Supersure.com. That's Supersure.com. Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
Onyx, I keep having stomach issues. Please make me a doctor's appointment.
Okay, are you suffering from diarrhea, bloating, gas, or oily stools? If so, you may want to ask your doctor if it could actually be a problem with your pancreas, called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI.
My pancreas? How is EPI treated?
A prescription medicine like Creon, pancrelipase, is used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes. Creon is the #1 prescribed treatment for EPI.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you are allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor, and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon. You can learn more at 1-800-633-9110.
Before your appointment, visit creoninfo.com. That's CREONinfo.com.
Your health story is shaped by more than genetics. Everyday choices like nutrition, physical activity, sleep, tobacco use, and routine screenings all play a role in your future health. Seidman Cancer Center's Your Disease Risk helps you understand how family history and lifestyle work together, offering personalized insights to support healthier decisions. Knowing your risks today can help protect your tomorrow. Visit Seidman.washU.edu/YDR.
A common question I receive is, how is the market right now? It just seems so volatile. Hi, I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty. If you want to buy or sell but feel overwhelmed by the whiplash of the market, then let's talk. With over 23 years as a broker, I have the exact experience you need to help you navigate this tricky market. Call me at 314-441-4444. 314-441-all-4s. And remember, why pay more than two?
Commissions are not regulated and are negotiable. Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
America is turning 250 this year, and Circa Sports is celebrating by offering all users in Missouri $250. For everyone in Missouri, all you have to do is deposit $250 on your Circa Sports app, then play through that deposit. Once you do, Circa Sports will reward you with $250 right in your account. This is available for everyone in Missouri, new and existing users. Celebrate 250 years and find out more at circasports.com today. Must be 21 or older and in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is the Gas House Gang from KMOX.
Bernie Nicholas and the Gas House Gang, today at noon on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
We've only got a couple of days to vote Jordan Walker into the All-Star game. He has fallen a bit, actually. Yeah, he's fallen a couple spots. Last check, he was in 6th in outfield National League All-Star voting. He has fallen down to 8th. So he's going to need a little bit of help. Cardinals.com, you can go there and vote for him. So Andy Pages, Brandon Marsh, Ronald Acuna, those are your top 3 vote getters. And Juan Soto jumped in front of him. James Wood jumped in front of him. Yeah.
Come on, that's no good.
I know.
Hey, I want to.
It's really a bummer.
Since we were talking about jewelry, so you are right with these, especially like engagement rings and modern jewelry. They do lose value because of markup in the stores, and also if they have particularly dated styles. So obviously, the gold and the diamond value does not go down. Gold, the raw material value goes up, but it doesn't go up as much to account for the overpriced.
What you pay for it.
Yeah, what you paid for it.
Because you're paying for labor, because they mold it into something. They create something out of a raw material or a couple of them. Yeah.
Right. So I'm actually more surprised. It lost a lot more value than modern jewelry loses value a lot more than I actually realized. Now, the ring that I was bringing up that was lost was an antique diamond ring. And it does say that antique jewelry can appreciate based on rarity, historical significance, and craftsmanship. But it's probably more rare that it goes up in price as a full ring than it does as modern jewelry.
It's like a car.
It's frustrating.
It's like a car. So unless you've got some sort of amazing vintage car. But yeah, once you drive it off the lot, doesn't.
Right. If you have a restored vintage Bronco, you could drop $200 grand.
Yeah.
Easily.
It's because of OJ. Like the new Broncos aren't going for that, though.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a late to the party here.
Oh, no.
Did you know there's a thing called a Zennial?
It's a really young millennial or an old Gen Zer.
Yeah, apparently I'm a Zennial.
No, you're Gen X.
No, I'm a Zennial. It's those. Would you two idiots shut up and let me finish?
No, we won't.
It is people born between 1977 and 1985. Those are called Zennials because you're in between Gen X and Millennial. And it is a...
Oh, Zennial with an X.
With an X. You don't say Xennial. It's Generation Zennial.
Yes.
They are defined by, it's called analog childhood and a digital young adulthood. So
does it have anything about being a jerk? Like, do they have bad attitudes?
Well, I mean...
Are they crabby?
I mean, you're in this group, so I don't know what you're talking about.
What year?
77 to 85.
I am. Because I am... Because I believe millennial starts at 81. Does it start at 80 or 81? And I'm 83, so
Yeah.
I am fully a millennial. But I will say what's weird is I feel like there are some things that, like when you talk about your childhood, I'm like, oh, yeah, that was mine. And some things I don't relate to at all. But then I'll talk to other millennials who are younger than I am, and I feel like I'm split between them as well.
So Zennials are, it's called a micro generation. Do you know what else it's called? Like what the Zennials, there's another term for them
Oh, my
as
gosh.
well.
What does
for
it start
us.
with?
You're not going to get it.
Does it rhyme with Spiffy Tube?
No, it does not rhyme with Spiffy Tube. It's called the Oregon Trail generation.
I have heard this.
You've heard this before?
Yeah, I've actually heard this more than Zennial.
Okay, well, I've never heard this before.
Yeah. Because you died of dysentery?
God, twice already. Today. So, yeah, man. Oregon Trail generation.
It's funny because that's the Oregon Trail generation. Meanwhile, Gen Z is called the Christopher Columbus generation because they're all discovering things that already existed. Like, hey, man, I just discovered this new band called Led Zeppelin. Have you ever heard of this, Dad?
I heard
Yeah, we've heard of it.
Was it somebody like 10 years ago? It was some young person talking about podcasts. Maybe it was less than 10, maybe 8. And they were talking about podcasts, and they were making a post. And I think it was a video even. and they were totally earnest about it. They were like, they should do live podcasting. Like, yeah, it's called radio, dork. I've been doing it for 100 years. What are you talking about?
Gen Z also came up with an idea. It's like Uber, only it's like a public service Uber. And what they do is, like, instead of it just being a car, it's like a lot bigger than a car, so it can maybe hold like 30 people, and it makes scheduled stops on the same route every day.
So it's a bus?
Yes, they invented the bus system. This was for a college essay. A kid wrote a college essay thinking this is my brand new idea, and the teacher had to tell him that he just invented buses.
It's almost as brilliant as let's build an underground series of tunnels only for Teslas so that they can get you around.
I still miss...
That was Elon's brilliant idea.
I still think we should have had the pneumatic tube from St. Louis to Kansas City, because that's what I pictured when they talked about the high-speed transport.
Would it take like 45 minutes to get there?
Yeah, but it's one person at a time, and you got to lie down, like the bank. Like the bank tube. That's what I pictured.
I could sit like that. Like
lying down, feet first.
Yeah, I could sit like that for 40 minutes.
Yeah, like the luge.
Yes.
Yeah.
40 minutes and you're in a different city, like hundreds of miles away. Sure, I could do that.
Speaking of roads, thought I should bring this up because I will be on 70 pretty soon. And apparently 70 from St. Louis to Kansas City is all construction, is what I'm hearing now.
Oh, no.
It's always some construction, but I've heard it's all construction until Kansas City. But TrailNet did release its most dangerous roads in St. Louis. And the report found that the most dangerous road for bicyclists and pedestrians in St. Louis City is Gravois.
Of course it is.
Which I believe that's a disaster. Even like by you in Soulard, there's that weird giant intersection with Gravois that I think people don't know how to navigate. I always get nervous driving.
Where Russell is?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Russell and Gravois. I feel like I get nervous driving through that because
and Gravois
it's
has
big and weird.
Has like a dozen of those.
Yeah.
A dozen of those intersections.
Yeah, they're not
least.
good.
And the ones where you can cross a small side street or coming on a small side street, crossing Gravois to the other side where there are no traffic lights. And I'm talking about being in a car. So I can't imagine even thinking about crossing that as a pedestrian. So that road is impossible. Not a big fan of Gravois.
No,
just
I don't
the way
like
it's
it.
built. And then Gravois becomes Tucker. And as I mentioned earlier, all of the traffic on 44, people coming downtown who would normally get off right over by the cathedral, well, that's closed. You can't get that close anymore. So they're all getting off on the, I guess it's the Russell exit and then getting on to Tucker. And so the traffic on Tucker near Soulard has been pretty brutal the last week or so.
Matt and I noticed it driving back to the office from Chris and Amy Day at the ballpark. Tucker was a parking lot headed south. Thankfully, we were going north on Tucker, but it was an absolute parking lot at, 4 in the afternoon, whatever time that would have been.
Well, they need to get that sinkhole fixed quickly. Do it like China does. They get it. That would have been done in 48 hours.
Well, I think they also use like slave labor in China, so I think you need to be careful.
I don't know that they do.
They do. Well, for all of their building the iPhones and then what's going on with the Uyghurs, you don't want to follow China's work protocol.
I don't. Their public works,
I
like
don't know
rebuilding
about public
roads
works.
and that kind of thing.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know about that either.
I will say in St. Louis County, the most dangerous road is Lindbergh, but it does not say, TrailNet, at least on the stories, I've read a couple, I haven't seen it, if it is north of Kirkwood Road, Lindbergh, or south of Kirkwood Road, because Lindbergh, spans the entirety of St. Louis County, goes all the way up into North County and down to South County, or maybe it's the entirety of Lindbergh. It doesn't specify.
It's probably all the poor people who have to, and I don't mean poor, but I mean the unfortunate people who have to come out of their living, their subdivisions. They drive out onto Lindbergh.
That's not good.
And there are no traffic lights. I mean, there are some, but that is a dangerous
I always
road.
think it's a bummer if you have this old house that probably was out in the country 100 years ago, but now is directly on top of Olive on top of Lindbergh, and your driveway opens up right to Olive. I couldn't do it. No, absolutely not.
So good news if you were worried about the perpetrators of the vandalism that has occurred at the reflecting pool in Washington, D.C.
Mm-hmm.
You know how the blue paint is peeling up, and it's because of vandals, we were told. They are installing artificial intelligence surveillance systems near the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool to catch all of those people who are messing up that beautiful American flag blue pool.
Well, they're draining it, and they're starting over.
Yeah. Well, at least it's not stupid. At least whatever's happening now is not the stupidest thing in history. So that's good. I feel pretty good about it.
Like I said, Jonah Goldberg, I so agree with this. We have so much abundance and so much new technology and the benefits of modern life. This is not the hardest time to be alive. This is not the most difficult time to be alive, but it's the stupidest. It's a pretty stupid time to be alive, which I love that. Yeah, it's not the worst time to be alive. I think being a serf in the 1200s in medieval Europe would be pretty terrible when they're like, oh, you looked at me the wrong way, I'm going to put your head on a pike. That's pretty bad. But it's a pretty silly and stupid time.
It is the comparatively stupidest time in history because we have so much access to knowledge and truth and fact, but we are so far removed from all of it.
We're very unserious.
It's
very unserious.
It's a very unserious nation at the moment. Celebrating our 250th
you know
birthday.
What? Being redeemed by the World Cup and feeling patriotic every single day when you see all these people from all over the world discovering America and its abundance and also its community and the warmth. And like you said, it's like or like I said yesterday, someone brought up, it's like when you have a sleepover with your cousins and you're just having a great time even though the parents hate each other. That's what we're all doing.
That's right. And they are, by the way, bringing in the National Guard and U.S. Marshals to patrol the pool, which is I think, a perfectly fine use of resources.
I think they should bring in the Coast Guard, personally.
It is the Chris and Amy show. Always check in with us. We love to hear from you at 314-436-7900. Gas House Gang is coming up in about 12, 13, 14 minutes, something like that. Cards manager Oliver Marmol on the show just after noon on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM KMOX.
This is Jordan Walker. Celebrate Black Heritage Day, presented by your quality Ford dealers on Sunday, June 28th at Busch Stadium. This special culture and community event honors the impact, history, and legacy of the Black community in baseball and beyond. With a special themed ticket, you'll receive an exclusive Cardinals jersey designed by Corey Rogers. And don't miss a special heritage celebration in Budweiser Terrace before the game. Details and tickets at cardinals.com/theme.
The weekend starts here. Grab your crew and kick it off at Friday Night Live at Busch Stadium. Every Friday night home game, Budweiser Terrace turns into the hottest happy hour in the Lou with $5 beers, $5 hot dogs, $7 margaritas, live music, and more all game long. Meet up with friends, soak in the energy, and keep the night going with baseball under the lights. Good vibes, great deals, your new Friday tradition. Get tickets now at Cardinals.com.
The soundtrack of classic rock is coming to Hollywood Casino Amphitheater August 6th. Leonard Skinner and Foreigner joining forces for one epic night of legendary hits and unforgettable memories. It's the Double Trouble Double Vision Tour. From Sweet Home Alabama to Cold as Ice. Don't miss your chance to experience these two rock and roll Hall of Fame acts in one incredible show. Tickets available at Ticketmaster.com. For more info, KMOX.com/events.
At EasyCater, we believe every workday gets better with great food. The 9 a.m. staff meeting? How about breakfast burritos and lots of coffee? Big client presentation at noon? Let's do Mediterranean bowls. Accounting's gotta work late. Keep them pepped up with spicy noodles. With EasyCater, you get a huge variety of favorite restaurants with tools to help meet dietary needs and stay on budget, all on one platform. So make every workday better with EasyCater. Start an order at EasyCater.com.
I built this business the old-fashioned way. Hard work and a whole lot of spreadsheets.
Yeah, about that, I upgraded us to Odoo. Odoo puts everything we need, sales, inventory, accounting, on one connected platform. No more juggling systems, no more headaches.
So it all works together?
Exactly.
Odoo is the all-in-one business software that makes running and passing on a business easier than ever. Take your business into the next generation. Try Odoo free at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Dial # law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement. Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's gotta be clean, it's gotta be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
Guys, Kevin Wheeler here for FanDuel Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of KMOX. And I like to joke, and I say it all the time, like my work with FanDuel Sportsbook goes well beyond the time that it came online in Missouri. I used to have to travel to play. Not anymore. Now I get to play at home, and you can too, whether it's baseball season, whether it's hockey, basketball, football, and now soccer. On the biggest stage of the world, FanDuel is stepping up. They are changing the game because sometimes the player you've got gets subbed off and your bet goes off with them, but not anymore. With FanDuel Super Sub, if your player is subbed out, your bet stays in. So that's right. So if your player leaves the match, your bet continues on with the substitute. So you're still in it to the final whistle. No need to go anywhere. You just hang in there. You still got your shot. But visit FanDuel.com/Missouri to get yourself started. Super easy to do. And let there be goals this summer on FanDuel. Just remember, you have to be 21 or older and present in Missouri. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX and the free Odyssey app.
Well, Ron, it's time for our Six Flags beat.
Oh, we're back on this again?
Well, it never stops. The egg beat, the Six Flags beat.
Oh.
What was the other beat?
Well, we had the egg beat.
Yeah, the egg beat, the Six Flags.
I think that was it.
I feel like there was one more, but at any rate, we have some audio from Six Flags in Georgia. It sounds like things could be going better.
Y'all, why the are we stuck up here, bro? What the Oh my God, bro. No way. Yeah, this is my last day at Six Flags. I'm not no more.
Wait, are they stuck on a roller coaster?
They are stuck on one of the giant swings.
Oh, I know what you're talking
which
about.
Which actually is the one that just broke here in St. Louis, where it's a bunch of swings and it swings you in a circle, the flyer or something.
Yeah.
And they're stopped. Thankfully, as Matt pointed out, it could be worse. You could be stuck swinging. That would be worse.
Oh,
and they would make rescue a lot harder. You'd have to pluck them out of midair. But they are stuck on the swings, and they just had to sit there for a while until they got rescued.
I don't know.
Why is this happening a lot?
Don't know. It's like and I love Six Flags. Six Flags St. Louis, man, I used to I love that place so much. I haven't been in a long time because I'm, an adult man. And why would I go there? Obviously,
to ride the rides.
I don't have any kids. What am I
to
gonna
get
do?
one of those tissue paper flowers, maybe a caricature with your glasses.
Let me ask you this question: how many people do you think go to How many people in their 40s go to Six Flags without children?
7.
I mean, it's got to be 0.
I don't think so.
There are no
people go.
There are no people in their 40s just going to Six Flags unless they're taking their kids.
314-436-7900. You have like 20 seconds to text in if you go to Six Flags as a 40-year-old.
So
why? Without kids?
Yeah, if you do, yes, tell us, and then tell us why you do it.
Because is it the equivalent of Disney adults?
No.
Because Disney adults are something else.
No, Disney's it captures the imagination a little bit more.
You don't think Bugs Bunny captures the imagination?
Not in the same way. because
you don't get Bugs Bunny then.
He's just a little too mischievous for most people.
He throws so much shade.
He really does.
I
But
love Bugs Bunny.
Mickey doesn't do that. Mickey's just happy about everything all the time. And that's why there's a draw. Plus,
You think the draw is that Mickey is happy
The catalog of Disney characters is so much greater
than Warner Brothers?
Yeah, it just is. I'm not trying to say anything about...
Here we go. My 34-year-old daughter and son-in-law have season passes to Six Flags, and they don't have any children.
Well, how old's a son-in-law?
This isn't Mike Moon texting in, is it?
Whoa! Good Lord! No, damn. Well, as long as they're 12, should be okay.
You have to be this tall to ride this ride or get married. Here's another texter. Roller coaster addicts go. And yes, love the water park. My wife and I go to Six Flags all the time, at least once a year, and we're in our 60s and we go by ourselves. I love that.
That's okay.
I love that.
That's okay.
These are my new favorite people.
So maybe
you went from poo-pooing them to me really loving them.
Well, maybe tomorrow we should find a roller coaster enthusiast. Like, what does it take to be a roller coaster enthusiast? And how many roller coasters do you have to visit through the course of the year to be considered an enthusiast?
My guess is Kevin Wheeler is an enthusiast. Oh, I go all the time. I love roller coasters.
There is no chance Kevin Wheeler would go to an amusement park.
I want to bet money. This will be revealed tomorrow.
Is there something you know about him?
I don't know. $5 says he does.
All right. We'll be back tomorrow at 9. Although we have a meeting with Steve, so maybe we won't.
Maybe we won't. We love you all.
Back tomorrow at 9. Thank you for being with us. The Gas House Gang is coming up next. Don't forget all of the podcasts, everything available, KMOX.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Money, sponsored by Wesley Financial.
Is your office going out to celebrate the World Cup? There's some HR strategy behind it.
Great way to help kind of boost morale during the summer months at work when nobody wants to be inside.
Michelle